Chapter 1540. In the land of the 1,000 illusions, in a magnificent mansion. That damned Mo Qingyun, how dare he kill my clone? In a room in the mansion, a young man's face darkened when he found out that his clone had been killed. Because he had reincarnated, he had to start from scratch. After decades of painstaking cultivation, the clone that he had painstakingly nurtured was now destroyed. He was unable to accept such a thing. This young man was none other than Chun Hyun Myung, who had a grudge against Mo Qingyun. Man, in a fit of rage, Chun Hyun Myung shouted angrily towards the outside of the house, summoning his subordinates to come in. Hearing Chun Hyun Myung's summons, a stooped old man quickly walked into Chun Hyun Myung's house. "Greetings, master. What orders do you have for me?" "Gather your men immediately and head to a subsidiary continent of the Tianhun continent. Bring all the relatives of a person called Mo Qingyun here." Seeing that the old man had entered the room, Chun Hyun Myung did not waste time with him and immediately gave his orders. Tianhun continent, subsidiary continent. Hearing Chun Hyun Myung's orders, the old man was stunned and did not recover from his shock. Chun Hyun Myung was once a great golden immortal expert, with his identity and status. How could he get angry with a martial cultivator from a lower continent? This was too strange. This old servant will do it right away. Although he did not understand Chun Hyun Myung's thoughts, the old man still immediately went to do it. He did not dare to disobey Chun Hyun Myung's orders. In his opinion, it was enough to settle Chun Hyun Myung's matter. He did not need to care about anything else. Following that, the old man bowed to Chun Hyun Myung and respectfully left the room. "Mo Qingyun, you kill my clone. I'll let you feel the pain of being separated by life and death." After the old man left the room, Chun Hyun Myung clenched his teeth and snorted coldly. Then, he continued to cultivate in silence. If he didn't take revenge on Mo Qingyun, he wouldn't be able to vent his anger. "All right, I got it." Hearing Wu Yu's explanation, Mo Qingyun nodded and agreed to Wu Yu's request. For Mo Qingyun, he was very happy to have another golden celestial stage powerhouse by his side. What he lacked the most now was a powerhouse at the golden celestial stage. Furthermore, helping Wu Yu find the crane returning cliff grass wasn't a big deal. Originally, he had to pass through the Cloud Crane Mountain Range on his way to the 9 Immortal Mountain Range. This was just a side trip. If that was the case, why didn't he help Wu Yu look for the crane returning cliff grass? To put it bluntly, once Wu Yu's cultivation advanced to the golden celestial stage, it would be equivalent to him increasing his own strength. After agreeing to Wu Yu's request, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any time and once again immersed himself in cultivation. Time passed little by little. Unknowingly, nearly 2 months had passed. "Master, we have arrived at the Cloud Crane Mountain Range." Seeing that they had arrived at the Cloud Crane Mountain Range, Qin Zhan recalled Mo Qingyun's instructions and immediately sent a voice transmission to Mo Qingyun. Hearing Qin Zhan's voice transmission, Mo Qingyun, who was in the midst of cultivation, opened his eyes in surprise and said, "Time really flies when cultivating. It takes about 2 months to travel from the ancestral territory of the Myriad Treasures tribe to the Cloud Crane Mountain Range. I didn't expect to arrive so quickly." The peak of the minor star intermediate stage. As expected, the higher the level, the slower the speed of cultivation. Sensing his cultivation, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. He wasn't satisfied with his cultivation speed. If others heard this, they would probably strangle Mo Qingyun to death. For others, it would take at least a few hundred years to reach the peak of the minor star intermediate stage from the minor star early stage. Mo Qingyun only used 2 months, but he actually felt that it wasn't fast enough. This was too greedy. "My cultivation has reached the peak of the minor star intermediate stage. Now, my strength should be comparable to a constellation expert." Mo Qingyun stood up and stretched his body. Feeling the rich, immortal spiritual energy in his body, he revealed a satisfied smile. Then, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and arrived beside Qin Zhan. "Master, the Cloud Crane Mountain Range is in front of us." Seeing Mo Qingyun arrive beside him, Qin Zhan raised his hand and pointed at the mountain range in front of them. He introduced the Cloud Crane Mountain Range to Mo Qingyun. Following the direction of Qin Zhan's finger, Mo Qingyun saw a mountain range shrouded in clouds and mist. White cranes constantly flew up into the sky. At first glance, the Cloud Crane Mountain Range looked like a fairyland filled with dense, immortal spiritual energy. Let's go. We'll enter the Cloud Crane Mountain Range. After sizing up the Cloud Crane Mountain Range in front of them, Mo Qingyun instructed Qin Zhan and took the lead to fly into the Cloud Crane Mountain Range. Seeing Mo Qingyun fly forward, Qin Zhan was unwilling to fall behind and chased after Mo Qingyun. However, at this moment, the golden-crowned snake-feathered eagle was left behind and was pulled apart by Mo Qingyun and Qin Zhan. After arriving at the Cloud Crane Mountain Range, Mo Qingyun wouldn't leave for a while. Therefore, he wasn't worried that the golden-crowned snake-feathered eagle would lose them. About 15 minutes later, Mo Qingyun and Qin Zhan quickly flew and arrived at a tribe in the Cloud Crane Mountain Range. Let's go down and take a rest. Looking at the tribe below, Mo Qingyun instructed Qin Zhan and flew down to the tribe below. After a while, Mo Qingyun and Qin Zhan arrived at the tribe and saw men and women with extraordinary temperaments. Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, he couldn't help but sigh with emotion. This tribe was really favored by the heavens. If he had to describe the appearance of the people in this tribe, he could only say that the men were handsome and charming while the women were gentle and beautiful. In short, he couldn't find a single ugly person in this tribe. Master, the people of the Crane God tribe can be considered as one of the top 10 in the Wasteland continent in terms of appearance. Seeing Mo Qingyun's surprised expression, Qin Zhan revealed a faint smile and explained to Mo Qingyun. After hearing Qin Zhan's explanation, Mo Qingyun's expression became relieved. Mo Qingyun had read some books about the appearance of the various tribes in the Wasteland continent, so he had some understanding of it. However, he still couldn't recover from the shock. Get out of the way. All of you get out of the way. When Mo Qingyun scanned the surroundings, he saw a group of rough-looking people rushing into the tribe's territory. When these people entered the tribe's territory, one of them grabbed the collar of a man and shouted, "Boy, tell us immediately, how do we get to White Crane Meteor Cliff?" White Crane Meteor Cliff is a gathering place. There's a distance of 10,000 miles here. You could go straight in this direction. Facing the question of the brawny man, the man was so scared that his body trembled, and he reported to him in a panicked tone. Hearing the answer of the Crane God tribe's man, the brawny man pushed him away and quickly left with the others. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly and became more curious about White Crane Meteor Cliff. Before Mo Qingyun could ease the curiosity in his heart, many people came and asked how to get to White Crane Meteor Cliff. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun's curiosity about White Crane Meteor Cliff reached an unprecedented level. Chapter 1541. Let's go and take a look at White Crane Meteor Cliff. Mo Qingyun's figure moved and followed behind those people, rushing towards White Crane Meteor Cliff. Seeing this, Qin Zhan didn't dare to hesitate in the slightest and immediately followed Mo Qingyun. Not long after Mo Qingyun and Qin Zhan left, two people with gloomy auras came to where they were standing. The two arrived at the Crane tribe's territory and coldly scanned the surroundings, as if they were looking for something. According to the reaction of the Umbra hunting token, it appeared here before. That Mo Qingyun shouldn't be far away. After scanning the surroundings and not finding Mo Qingyun's figure, Tung Yao, who had a higher cultivation, said, "Junior Brother Ian, let's go find someone and see if they've seen Mo Qingyun." All right. Ian Xiaoqiu nodded and followed Tung Yao to find someone to ask about Mo Qingyun. "My friend, have you ever seen such a person finding a youth from the Crane tribe?" Tung Yao roughly told him about Mo Qingyun. Hearing this, that person rubbed his forehead and acted as if he was thinking, "In the past few days, too many people have come to our gray-winged Crane tribe. I don't have much of an impression of the person you're talking about. I'm truly sorry." No matter. Seeing that the other party didn't know, Tung Yao shook his head and didn't blame the other party. At this moment, when Tung Yao and Qin Zhan were disappointed, the crane tribe man pondered for a moment and said, "All right, the people who have come to our gray-winged crane tribe recently have all come to ask about White Crane Meteor Cliff. You can go there and try your luck. Perhaps you'll be able to meet him there." White Crane Meteor Cliff. Tung Yao and Qin Zhan's faces were gloomy, and cold light flashed in their eyes. They asked again, "How do I get there?" Hearing Tung Yao's question, that person immediately pointed the way for the two. With the other party's guidance, the two no longer hesitated and headed towards White Crane Meteor Cliff. After leaving the Crane tribe's territory, Mo Qingyun and Qin Zhan flew for roughly 2 hours and arrived at White Crane Meteor Cliff. White Crane Meteor Cliff was said to be a huge cliff, but it was actually the remains of an ancient sect. Ancient palaces were scattered around the cliffs, surrounded by layers of fog. So an ancient remnant has appeared on the White Crane Meteor Cliff. No wonder there are so many people here. Seeing the palace on White Crane Meteor Cliff, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding. He finally knew why everyone had come. It turned out that there was an ancient relic unearthed on the White Crane Meteor Cliff. No wonder it attracted so many people. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and flew towards the Lily Meteor Cliff. Rumor has it that the fourth young master of the Crane family is here as well. I'm afraid that the fight for the remains of the Crane Meteor Palace is going to become more and more intense. It's not just the fourth prince. Even the young lord of the Nether River clan, Jiang Weijia, is on his way here. I heard that young Lord Zhong Hui of the Heaven-Devouring Wolf race is also rushing over with a lot of people. Rumor has it that crane-returning cliff grass and lightning cranes have appeared in the White Crane Meteor Palace. Isn't it normal to attract them here? What do you know? Opening the White Crane Meteor Palace requires 6 keys, and these 6 keys are with the 6 of them. So if they don't come, the White Crane Meteor Palace won't open. Of course. Otherwise, why do you think everyone is standing outside the White Crane Meteor Palace and waiting like fools? I see. As Mo Qingyun approached the White Crane Meteor Cliff, he heard the conversations of the crowd. Crane returning cliff grass? Hearing everyone's conversation, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and he immediately became excited. Before he came to the Cloud Crane mountain range, he had promised Wei Yu to help him find the crane-returning cliff grass. He didn't expect that the news of the crane-returning cliff grass would come to him before he even inquired about it. This was really an unexpected gain. At this moment, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but rejoice that he had come to the White Crane Meteor Cliff. Otherwise, he would have missed the opportunity to obtain the news of the crane-returning cliff grass. As Mo Qingyun flew toward the White Crane Meteor Cliff, 4 figures flew toward the White Crane Meteor Cliff at an extremely fast speed, causing the crowd to exclaim, "Look, the Cloud Crane fourth young master is here." Seeing the appearance of the 4 figures, the crowd became excited and cheered. As the crowd exclaimed, 4 arrogant-looking young men appeared in Mo Qingyun's line of sight. The 4 of them weren't weak. All of them had reached the half-step golden immortal realm and were slightly stronger than Yuan He. It was no wonder that the 4 of them were the most talented in the Cloud Crane mountain range. "Sorry, I'm still first this time." The white-clothed young man who arrived first flaunted with a cold and arrogant expression. He glanced at the other 3 and said, "Huang Xen, Guanyang, Lu Muji, Ofo won all the crane-returning cliff grass and lightning cloud crane in the White Crane Meteor Palace. Don't even think about it." As expected of young Master Jade Crane, you have an extraordinary bearing and are peerlessly overbearing. Hearing Ofang's words, some of the surrounding people revealed looks of admiration and couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Compared to the flattery of these people, the other 3 young masters were in a different mood. They all revealed unhappy expressions and thought to themselves, "Feng is really arrogant. 10,000 years of wine. The fragrance of wine is boundless." Feng's fart stinks in the wilderness. Young Master Wen He, Huang Xen, leisurely spun his paper fan and mocked Feng. Hearing Huang Xian's mocking words, the coarse-looking young Master Wen He, Guanyang, immediately laughed loudly and gave Huang Xian a thumbs up. "Haha, good poem, good poem. It could be seen that Huang Xian's words were what was in his heart. No, no, this should be called a good couplet. While Guanyang was laughing, Lu Muji next to him shook his head and expressed his opinion. He then said, I think it still lacks a horizontal comment. If we add a most shameless horizontal comment, then everything would be perfect. Ha, not bad, not bad. It really does lack a most shameless. Brother Lu, you're really observant. Now that you've said it, I think it's even more appropriate. Hearing Lu Muji's words, Huang Xian and Guanyang nodded repeatedly, agreeing with Lu Muji's words. The three of them were named after Feng, so their strength was naturally not much weaker than Feng. Now that this guy was so arrogant, threatening to monopolize the treasures of Crane Meteor Palace, how could they tolerate such a thing? Umph. Hearing the three's mocking words, Feng coldly snorted. It was rare for him to argue with them, so he said unhappily, Have we seen Zhang Weijie and Zhong Yao? If the two of them didn't come, we wouldn't have been able to open Crane Meteor Palace. Hearing Feng's words, Huang Xian and the other two looked around for Zhang Weijie and Soin. Chapter 1542. Young Masters, you're really fast. It seems like you're determined to get the treasures of the White Crane Meteor Palace. Zhang Weijie, dressed in a black brocade robe, came to the front of Feng's group and teased them with a faint smile. Looking at the approaching Zhang Weijie, Feng's group of four immediately retreated and put on their guard. It could be seen that the high-spirited young masters of the White Crane clan were very afraid of Zhang Weijie. As the four young masters retreated, they blasted their palms forward one after another, bursting out a terrifying immortal spiritual force. When the young masters of the White Crane clan attacked, bubbles emerged from their figures and turned into four sinister black shadows. Bang, 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 bang. Facing the attacks of the young masters of the White Crane clan, the four black shadows only lasted for a breath before they were all blasted away. Zhang Weijie, you actually sneak attacked us? After dispersing the black mist in front of them, Feng's group of four glared at Zhang Weijie with ferocious expressions. It's just a joke. You don't have to be so angry. Zhang Weijie faintly smiled in the face of their anger and said indifferently, Don't tell me that the four of you can't block such a small trick. Of course not. Facing Zhang Weijie's question, Feng's group of four blushed and forcefully denied it for the sake of their face. Although they said so, the four of them knew very well that Zhang Weijie's attack just now was not simple. Even if it was a golden immortal powerhouse, if he was careless, he would probably lose a layer of skin. It was precisely because of Zhang Weijie's strange means that they were so afraid of him and relaxed their vigilance. Everyone is waiting. Let's open the White Crane Meteor Palace. Hearing the conversation of the five people in front of him, a man in green clothes next to them urged in an impatient tone. As the young man spoke, a vortex suddenly appeared in the space around him. Seeing such a scene, not only were the young masters of the White Crane clan in awe, but even Zhang Weijie's expression turned solemn. They could see that Zhong Yao's strength was stronger than before and was probably the most difficult person to deal with among them. Brother Zhong Yao, the heaven-devouring demonic wolf art you've cultivated has probably reached the 7th level, right? Zhang Weijie walked to Zhong Yao's side and tried to probe Zhong Yao's background with a perverted smile. Hearing Zhang Weijie's question, Feng and the other three also revealed curious expressions. Just mind your own business. Don't meddle in my business. Zhong Yao's expression was cold as he stared at Zhang Weijie. A ferocious aura emanated from his body. At this moment, Zhong Yao was like a wild wolf, using a hungry gaze to stare at its prey. Under Zhong Yao's gaze, Zhang Weijie's face twitched. He revealed an awkward expression and said with a smile, Brother Zhong Yao, still likes to play the deep game. You always look mysterious. Zhang Weijie laughed awkwardly to resolve the awkward situation. He took out a crane-shaped key. Seeing Zhang Weijie's actions, Zhong Yao's expression turned for the better. He also took out a key that looked like a crane. Immediately after, Feng and the other three beside him also took out a crane-shaped key. The crane-shaped keys were taken out by the 6 of them. They immediately flew towards the Crane Meteor Palace as if they were alive. Not long after, the White Crane Meteor Palace emitted a dazzling light that blinded the surrounding people. Boom, boom, boom. As the White Crane Meteor Palace's light flashed, the cliff below it began to break and fall down the cliff. However, the White Crane Meteor Palace, which had lost its support, was still floating in the air like a real immortal palace. Not long after, the light of the White Crane Meteor Palace dissipated and reappeared in everyone's sight. Little children, this old man will make a move first. Seeing the door of the White Crane Meteor Palace open, an old man with a scar on his face turned into a stream of light and rushed towards the White Crane Meteor Palace. Seeing this old man's appearance, the surrounding people were shocked and immediately recognized his identity. Before they could recover from their shock, figures with astonishing auras followed the scarred old man and rushed towards the White Crane Meteor Palace. That's the old devil Blackheart who became famous 10,000 years ago. Isn't he already dead? From his aura, his cultivation seems to have reached the great golden body stage. Why is such a powerhouse here? That's the eight-armed king Xiao Qianqian. Even he was alarmed. And the dragon emperor of the four seas, Wu Shangyuan. Didn't he proclaim himself the king of the South Ming Sea? One after another, famous powerhouses appeared in front of everyone's eyes, shocking everyone. These people had broken through to the golden immortal stage 10,000 years ago. Each of them was an unfathomable existence. These juniors were simply courting death by competing with these people for treasures. At this time, even Zhong Yao and the other five were dumbfounded and looked at each other in dismay. They would never have thought that such a situation would occur. Facing those powerhouses of the golden immortal stage, they had no chance at all. At this moment, when everyone was looking at each other in dismay, a scream came from the front. Half of the body of old demon Blackheart, who was charging at the front, was instantly smashed into pieces by the terrifying shockwave. If not for old devil Blackheart's powerful strength and timely retreat, his divine soul would have been destroyed by the airwave. After retreating from the airwave, old devil Blackheart's face was pale. He quickly condensed his spiritual power to reconstruct his body. Seeing old devil Blackheart's appearance, the dragon emperor of the four seas and the others at the back quickly stopped moving forward. They were afraid. If not for old devil Blackheart's quick reaction, they would have been the ones injured. There's a restriction in the White Crane Meteor Palace that forbids powerhouses of the golden immortal stage from entering. Looking at the puzzled dragon emperor of the four seas and the others, old devil Blackheart revealed a bitter expression and told them the situation. The dragon emperor of the four seas and the others were dumbfounded. In this case, they couldn't enter the White Crane Meteor Palace. Powerhouses of the golden immortal stage can't enter. Knowing that the dragon emperor of the four seas and the others couldn't enter, Zhong Yao and the others immediately looked happy and rushed into the White Crane Meteor Palace. Just as everyone was rushing toward the Crane Meteor Palace, two figures rushed over at an extremely fast speed. They released their auras and locked onto Mo Qinyan. Brat, so you really are here. Prepare to die obediently. What a strong killing intent. A half-step golden immortal and a peak minor golden body. Who are these two? Sensing that he was shrouded in killing intent, Mo Qinyan's eyelids twitched. He quickly said to Qinjan in a deep voice, "Qinjan, don't resist. I'll send you into the 5 directions, small pagoda, immediately." After sending Qinjan into the 5 directions, small pagoda, Mo Qinyan's figure flashed and quickly rushed into the White Crane Meteor Palace. As long as he entered the White Crane Meteor Palace, he didn't have to worry about being chased by the powerhouse of the minor golden body. Chapter 1543. Demonic Shadow, Traceless. Lightning Wind Path. Mo Qinyan turned into a stream of light and caught up with Zhong Yao and the rest, which shocked everyone. A guy in a lesser star realm could fly so fast that he was on par with Zhong Yao and the rest. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would not have believed it. This kid is so fast. He must have cultivated some secret technique. The power of lightning path and wind path. This kid is only in the lesser star realm, but he has comprehended the power of Tao. Where did this guy come from? He has such terrifying talent. He should not be a nobody. So what if he flies fast? A mere lesser star realm is nothing to worry about. I hope he does not provoke me. Mo Qingyun's astonishing performance immediately drew everyone's attention, making them all exclaim in admiration. Then, Mo Qingyun rushed into the Crane Meteor Palace under everyone's shocked gaze. Kid, you can't escape. Seeing Mo Qingyun rush into Crane Meteor Palace, Tung Yao and Mo Qingyun, who were behind him, quickly caught up and rushed into Crane Meteor Palace. Seeing Tung Yao and the other man's actions, the surrounding people trembled and looked at Tung Yao sympathetically. They could foresee that Tung Yao would end up like old demon He Xian. Sure enough, just as everyone was sighing in their hearts, a scream came from the front. Under the attack of the terrifying airwave, Tung Yao's arm disappeared in the blink of an eye. When Tung Yao's arm disappeared, a shadow appeared outside his body and blocked the airwave attack for him. Seeing that the airwave was blocked, Tung Yao's horse showed lingering fear and quickly retreated. Fortunately, Xian Xiao had given him a Dharma treasure that saved him at the critical moment. Otherwise, under the attack of the terrifying airwave, it would only take a few breaths to destroy his body and soul. Senior brother Tung Yao, how are you? Seeing Tung Yao retreating, Yin Xiaoqiong was nervous and immediately supported Tung Yao to ask. Hearing Yin Xiaoqiong's question, Tung Yao shook his head and said coldly with a gloomy expression, I'm fine. I just need to spend 1,000 years of cultivation to reconstruct an arm. Hearing Tung Yao's words, Yin Xiaoqiong's expression improved a little. Looking at Crane Meteor Palace, his gaze became even gloomier. He shouted, Mo Qingyun, you treacherous brat. I won't let you off. Junior brother Yin, there's a taboo left behind by an expert outside of the Immortal Palace. I'm afraid I'll have to enter with you. Looking at the Crane Meteor Palace in front of him, Tung Yao said to Yin Xiaoqiong in a helpless tone. Hearing Tung Yao's words, Yin Xiaoqiong shook his head indifferently and said, Senior brother Tung, go ahead and recover. I will deal with Mo Qingyun alone. All right. Tung Yao nodded and flew to the side. He stood in the air and cultivated. Seeing this, Yin Xiaoqiong did not hesitate and flew to the White Crane Meteor Palace. After entering the White Crane Meteor Palace, Missouri Qingyun saw the shadow of red-crowned cranes circling above the palace. While Mo Qingyun was sizing up these red-crowned cranes, O Feng and the others did not stop and quickly flew towards the red-crowned cranes. Soon, O Feng and the others captured the red-crowned cranes and rode them into the White Crane Meteor Palace. Quickly seize those red-crowned cranes. Those red-crowned cranes can carry everyone into the White Crane Meteor Palace. There are only a few thousand red-crowned cranes. It's not enough for us to distribute. We must act quickly. Get out of the way. This red-crowned crane is mine. After knowing the purpose of these red-crowned cranes, everyone went crazy and fought over the few red-crowned cranes. So that's how it is. After knowing the purpose of the red-crowned cranes, Mo Qingyun did not waste any time. He locked onto a red-crowned crane and rushed over. What Mo Qingyun did not expect was that when he locked onto that red-crowned crane, an early-stage Constellation Realm cultivator also locked onto that red-crowned crane. Brat, if you don't want to die, immediately scram to the side. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had the same target as him, that person immediately shouted coldly and raised his hand to punch towards Mo Qingyun. Immediately, a sharp immortal spiritual energy transformed into a huge bird and swiftly pounced towards Mo Qingyun. Seeing this person make a move, everyone's eyes immediately lit up and revealed curious expressions. It's that brat. He seems to have offended Peng Lingyi. Peng Lingyi's strength is not weak. In the three-clawed eagle crane clan, his talent can be ranked in the top 3. This is good too. We can see what that brat is capable of through Peng Lingyi. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was stopped by someone, everyone revealed curious expressions, wanting to see the depth of Mo Qingyun's strength. They were extremely curious about this youth who was flying at an extremely fast speed. Great Heavenly Demon Finger. Facing Peng Lingyi's punch, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hold back and immediately blasted a finger towards Peng Lingyi. Immediately, a surge of immortal spiritual energy that was not weaker than Peng Lingyi's burst out from Mo Qingyun's finger. The moment this imposing immortal spiritual energy appeared, it transformed into a huge black finger and blasted towards the eagle crane. Chirp! The eagle crane was hit by the huge black finger and immediately let out a miserable cry as its figure gradually dissipated. The huge black finger destroyed the eagle crane's shadow. Its aura did not decrease at all and continued to blast towards Peng Lingyi. Seeing the great heavenly demon finger blasted towards him, Peng Lingyi's expression became flustered, and he immediately moved to block the great heavenly demon finger. Bang, bang, bang. Under Peng Lingyi's continuous attacks, he managed to block the great heavenly demon finger with difficulty and was forced to retreat 10,000 meters. Looking at this scene, everyone was dumbfounded. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. A person with a cultivation base of minor star realm was actually suppressing a person of the constellation realm. This brat's combat strength is so strong. He actually suppressed Peng Lingyi. Astonishing speed and terrifying combat strength. This brat's talent is above the Cloud Crane Fourth Young Master. Truly, there is always someone better than you. If I did not see it with my own eyes, I would not believe that there is such a monster. Seeing Mo Qingyun's amazing performance, everyone was shocked and could not help but sigh. Mo Qingyun, get over here and accept your death. While everyone was amazed by Mo Qingyun's strength, Yin Xiaoqiong entered the White Crane Meteor Palace and charged towards Mo Qingyun with a ferocious expression. Whoosh! Seeing Yin Xiaoqiong chasing after him, Mo Qingyun did not stop. He jumped onto the back of the White Crane and rode it away. Get out of my way! Seeing Mo Qingyun leave on the White Crane, Yin Xiaoqiong's eyes flashed with a cold light and a terrifying aura erupted. Under the impact of Yin Xiaoqiong's aura, some of the cultivators around him were all sent flying. They had no power to resist at all. After sending everyone flying, Yin Xiaoqiong also captured a White Crane and rode it to chase after Mo Qingyun. Seeing Yin Xiaoqiong leave on the White Crane, the surrounding people's faces twitched and their expressions were filled with horror. Chapter 1544. Who are those two fellows? Why are their talents so terrifying? In comparison, Mo Qingyun's talent is even more monstrous. What he lacks now is time to cultivate. I wonder if he can grow up smoothly under the pursuit of the latter. It shouldn't be difficult. After all, there was another expert in the minor golden body realm who was chasing after him. What? He was actually chased down by a minor golden body expert, and he even managed to survive. After knowing what had happened to Mo Qingyun, everyone was shocked. They were even more in awe of Mo Qingyun. Being chased by a minor golden body expert in the golden immortal realm, Mo Qingyun managed to get rid of his opponent with his cultivation of the minor star realm. From this, it was obvious how frightening his capabilities were. After being stunned for a short while, everyone no longer hesitated and started to fight for the White Crane mount again. Mo Qingyun had no idea about the panic he had caused. He was chasing after Zhong Yao and the others at full speed. Zhong Yao looks similar to Soin. He is also the young lord of the heaven-devouring wolf clan. He should be Soin's brother. Riding the White Crane, Missouri Qingyun flew into the Crane Meteor Palace. He analyzed the relationship between Zhong Yao and Soin and thought about how to deal with Zhong Yao. He said, if Zhong Yao dies in the Crane Meteor Palace, the heaven-devouring wolf clan will go crazy when they hear the news. Since he had decided to avenge Thea, Mo Qingyun would not hold back when dealing with the heaven-devouring wolf clan. While Mo Qingyun was thinking, he turned his head and looked at Yin Xiaoqiong, who was chasing after them. He said to himself, this guy is trouble. Looks like I have to find a chance to get rid of him. To Mo Qingyun, being constantly hunted down by a single person was a very unpleasant thing. After about 10 minutes, Mo Qingyun rode the white crane and arrived in front of the palace. He exclaimed, "Crane Meteor Palace doesn't seem to occupy a lot of space from the outside, but there is actually another world inside. The size of the space is comparable to the territory of the Barbarian Bull and Thunder Tiger clan." When they arrived in front of the palace, the white crane began to slow down and gradually landed on a high platform. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately jumped down from the white crane. Mo Qingyun dismounted from the white crane. The white crane turned around and flew away, gradually disappearing from his sight. Seeing the white crane fly away, Mo Qingyun was slightly stunned. Then, he ran towards the palace. As Mo Qingyun headed towards the palaces, he saw that Zhong Yao and the others had already entered the palaces. Seeing the actions of Zhong Yin and the others, Mo Qingyun was unwilling to fall behind. He prepared to enter a palace. Whoosh! Just as Mo Qingyun was about to rush into the palace, the sound of an immortal bird entered his ears. Hearing this bird sound, Mo Qingyun's body paused and curiously looked at the bird. He saw a huge white crane covered in lightning circling in the air. Seeing this white crane in the air, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with excitement. He exclaimed, "Lightning Cloud Crane, one of the top 10 flying mounts in the wild continent. Since I've met you, I can't let you escape." Seeing the lightning cloud crane in the air, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He was thinking of how to catch this lightning cloud crane. After thinking for a while, Mo Qingyun's mind flashed. He knew how to catch the other party. Hidden door. Mo Qingyun's figure gradually disappeared. Even his aura completely disappeared, as if he never existed. After concealing his figure, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and chased after the lightning cloud crane. Since there was no danger, the lightning cloud crane's flying speed was not increased to its maximum. The lightning cloud crane's flying speed is faster than mine. If it flies at full speed, I definitely won't be able to catch up. Following behind the lightning cloud crane, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with shock. He was in awe of the lightning cloud crane's flying speed. If that's the case, I probably only have one chance to catch the lightning cloud crane. If I disturb it, it'll be difficult to catch again. Mo Qingyun thought as he flew. He was thinking of how to secretly set a trap for the lightning cloud crane. The lightning cloud crane's flying position seems to be fixed. Maybe I can do this. After knowing the lightning cloud crane's flying position, Mo Qingyun's lips curled up. He had thought of a way to deal with it. Then, Mo Qingyun carefully took out various materials to set up a formation outside the lightning cloud crane's flying range. As time trickled by, the array formation that Mo Qingyun had set up gradually took shape. The closer it got, the more nervous Mo Qingyun became. He was afraid that something unexpected would happen. There was no other way. If the lightning cloud crane suddenly changed its flight path, then he could only cry his eyes out. All his hard work would have been in vain. Mo Qingyun was still worried. At this moment, someone suddenly appeared and angered the lightning cloud crane. Fortunately, what Mo Qingyun was worried about did not happen. No one came to disturb the lightning cloud crane. Even Yin Xiaoqiong, who was chasing after him, did not show up for a long time. It seemed that he had also gone to the palace to collect treasures. Mo Qingyun did not care about the treasures in the palace. What he wanted now was to subdue the lightning cloud crane. As long as he subdued the lightning cloud crane, it would be easy for him to escape or chase after it. Moreover, Mo Qingyun came to the Crane Meteor Palace mainly for two items. One was the lightning cloud crane, and the other was the red-crowned crane herb. As for the red-crowned crane herb, he would ask around and find out who took it. He would snatch it. Phew! After a period of worry and fear, the formation was finally set up. Mo Qingyun could not help but take a deep breath. Rise! Mo Qingyun formed a seal with his right hand and pointed at the void to activate the formation. Then, a 7-colored ball of light quickly formed in the air. Seeing the formation suddenly taking shape, the lightning cloud crane cried out in alarm. It flashed and disappeared in a flash. However, when it was about to escape, it was too late. That was because the formation had already been completed and it had blocked its path. So fast. The lightning cloud crane is flying at full speed. Its speed is almost 100 times faster than mine. Seeing the lightning cloud crane's speed, Mo Qingyun's expression trembled. He could barely catch a trace of the lightning cloud crane. Seeing the lightning cloud crane's performance, Mo Qingyun was immediately overjoyed. He thought to himself, if I subdue the lightning cloud crane, it will be difficult for anyone below the golden immortal stage to catch up with me. At the same time, Mo Qingyun felt a strong disdain for Feng. He said, with Feng's ability, he wants to catch the lightning cloud crane. He really talks big. Chapter 1545. Bloodline Suppression. Looking at the lightning cloud crane, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate and immediately took action to suppress the lightning cloud crane. A terrifying bloodline power erupted from Mo Qingyun's body and enveloped the entire space within the array. Under the suppression of the bloodline power, the lightning cloud crane screamed, and its blood flow became chaotic. Then, the lightning cloud crane's flying speed began to decrease rapidly. Of course, even if the lightning cloud crane's speed was reduced, it was still not something that Mo Qingyun could compare with. However, Mo Qingyun wasn't anxious about this. He continued to give chase at a moderate pace. Since the lightning cloud crane could not escape, he could slowly deal with it until it surrendered. Combination door. A light door with a groove quickly appeared above Mo Qingyun and emitted a terrifying sealing power. Under the suppression of this sealing power, the lightning cloud crane's blood flow was greatly hindered again. Then, the lightning cloud crane's flying speed was greatly suppressed again. Heavenly Soul Heaven Sealing Fist. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and threw a punch at the lightning cloud crane. Suddenly, a shocking amount of immortal spiritual energy gathered above the lightning cloud crane and turned into a huge black fist. When the black fist was formed, it flew towards the lightning cloud crane below and frightened it so much that it quickly dodged. Unfortunately, the space within the array was only so big, and the lightning cloud crane had nowhere to hide. Boom! With a loud sound, the lightning cloud crane was hit by the heavenly soul heaven sealing fist, and its mobility was directly restrained. Done! Seeing that the lightning cloud crane was restrained, Mo Qingyun's face lit up, and he immediately flew towards the lightning cloud crane. Then, Mo Qingyun's figure gradually appeared in front of the lightning cloud crane. Chirp! Seeing Mo Qingyun in front of it, the lightning cloud crane angrily screamed, showing its hostility towards Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun did not take the lightning cloud crane's reaction to heart. He coldly said, I will give you a choice now. Either you submit to me and become my mount in the future, or I will kill you now. With your intelligence, you should know what I mean. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the lightning cloud crane immediately became restless, showing its dissatisfaction with Mo Qingyun. No matter what, it was still a high-grade spirit beast. Mo Qingyun wanted to take it as his mount, so he should show it some respect. How could he be willing to submit to such an unreasonable method? What? You don't want to? Seeing lightning cloud crane's reaction, Mo Qingyun's expression froze. A cold light flashed in his left eye. Demonic soul, seizing soul. Then, Mo Qingyun used his innate ability to forcefully strip the lightning cloud crane's soul. Under Mo Qingyun's innate ability, the lightning cloud crane's body immediately trembled, and a small shadow of a crane flew out of its head. When this shadow of a crane flew out, it revealed a frightened expression and quickly begged Mo Qingyun. It was scared. It believed that Mo Qingyun's words were not a joke. It was very likely that he would really kill it. If you had agreed earlier, wouldn't you have suffered less? Seeing that the lightning cloud crane was willing to submit, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile. He knew that he had achieved his goal. He really killed the lightning cloud crane. His actions just now were only to scare the lightning cloud crane. If he really wanted to kill it, he would not be willing to do so. Open up your sea of consciousness. I want to plant a soul imprint in it. Seeing that the lightning cloud crane was willing to submit, Mo Qingyun ordered it to plant a soul imprint in its sea of consciousness. Soon, Mo Qingyun planted a soul imprint in the lightning cloud crane's sea of consciousness. After becoming Mo Qingyun's mount, the lightning cloud crane made a fawning action. It used its head to rub against Mo Qingyun's arm. Don't worry, since you become my mount, I naturally won't treat you unfairly. Seeing the lightning cloud crane's action, Mo Qingyun patted its head and comforted it. He then said, "When I attacked you just now, you suffered some injuries. I'll send you to the 5 Directions miniature pagoda to heal." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he sent the lightning cloud crane into the 5 Directions miniature pagoda to let it heal its injuries first. Of course, other than letting the lightning cloud crane heal, Mo Qingyun had another reason for doing this. The lightning cloud crane was too rare. If others knew that he had successfully subdued the lightning cloud crane, he would definitely be targeted. Next, he would definitely become the target of public criticism and be hunted down by everyone. When that time came, he would be in a bad situation. Just thinking about it gave him a headache. More importantly, once he was targeted by everyone, not only would he not be able to search for treasures in peace, but he would also not be able to deal with Yin Xiaoqiong and Li Qie. After sending the lightning cloud crane into the 5 Directions miniature pagoda, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time and immediately withdrew from the formation. I hope that everyone will be merciful and leave something for me. Coming out of the formation, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He was secretly looking forward to it. Although subduing the lightning cloud crane was already a big gain, who would complain about more gains? Glancing at the various palaces in front of him, Mo Qingyun locked onto a target and flew toward the palace with a blue roof. Under Mo Qingyun's observation, he felt that this palace had not been discovered by anyone and had not been looted. Swish, 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 Mo Qingyun's figure flashed a few times and arrived in front of this palace. He quickly walked into the palace. As soon as he entered the palace, Missouri Qingyun saw a large pill cauldron that emitted a faint medicinal fragrance. Although this pill cauldron had been abandoned for a long time, there was still a trace of medicinal fragrance left in the cauldron due to the long period of refining pills. Sizing up the pill cauldron in front of him, Mo Qingyun was about to wipe off the dust on the pill cauldron to see its true appearance. Buzz! When Mo Qingyun touched the pill cauldron trembled violently, as if expressing its displeasure towards Mo Qingyun. Seeing this situation, Mo Qingyun's expression was slightly surprised. He said with a pleasantly surprised expression, "I didn't expect this pill cauldron to have developed spiritual intelligence. It seems that I found something good." After discovering this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He raised his hand and grabbed the pill cauldron, preparing to suppress it domineeringly. A terrifying immortal spiritual energy erupted from Mo Qingyun's hand and turned into a large palm that pressed down on the pill cauldron. Facing Mo Qingyun's attack, the pill cauldron's reaction became more and more intense, as if it wanted to resist Mo Qingyun to the end. Unfortunately, it was only a pill cauldron in the end and could not be compared to a real cultivator. Not to mention, it was a monster like Mo Qingyun. In a short while, the pill cauldron was suppressed by Mo Qingyun, unable to resist in the slightest. 9 Cranes Returning Cauldron, a quasi-saint level pill cauldron. Good stuff. After observing the pill cauldron in his hand, Mo Qingyun's face immediately became wild with joy and his heartbeat accelerated. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun's face was filled with surprise, a figure walked into the palace. The person who came was the most overbearing and arrogant of the 4 princes, Ophone. Chapter 1546. An Alchemy Cauldron? A quasi-saint level alchemy cauldron? Seeing the alchemy cauldron in Mo Qingyun's hand, Ophone revealed a surprised expression. His face gradually turned cold as he shouted, "Boy, hand over the alchemy cauldron in your hand, and I can spare your life." Mo Qingyun frowned slightly and turned to look at Ophone. His expression was one of disdain. "If you want the alchemy cauldron, come and take it." Mo Qingyun smiled mockingly and put the alchemy cauldron into the five-directional pagoda, making a provocative gesture. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Feng's face turned cold and his body emitted a murderous aura. A boy with a cultivation base of a small star level dared to provoke him like this. "Boy, although your movement technique is good, it doesn't mean you're strong." When they entered the White Crane Meteor Palace, Feng and the others were one step ahead, so they didn't see the fight between Mo Qingyun and Peng Lingyi. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said this now. As far as Feng knew, no matter how strong Mo Qingyun was, he was only a little stronger than an ordinary person of a small star level. This level of strength was not even worth mentioning in front of him. "As the leader of the four young masters, I won't bully you. Later, I will suppress my cultivation base and fight with you." Feng revealed a proud expression and a superior attitude. He glanced at Mo Qingyun disdainfully and said, "If you can last 100 moves in my hands, I won't take your alchemy cauldron." "Really?" Mo Qingyun smiled faintly, and a playful smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. This guy was really arrogant. Not only did he suppress his cultivation base to fight with him, but he also planned to defeat him within 100 moves. Feng, always keep my word. I'm afraid you don't have the ability to do so." Feng raised his head, and the arrogance in his expression grew. He didn't put Mo Qingyun in his eyes at all. When Feng spoke, he began to suppress his cultivation base and kept it the same as Mo Qingyun's. Seeing that Feng really suppressed his cultivation base, Mo Qingyun smiled. The smile on his face was very bright. If that was the case, then he wouldn't hold back. This was Feng asking for it. If he didn't cooperate, wouldn't it be too disrespectful? Without waiting for Feng to finish his words, Mo Qingyun sent a palm strike towards him, not wanting to waste any more time with Feng. A terrifying immortal spiritual energy erupted from Mo Qingyun's palm, transforming into a gigantic palm that blotted out the sky as it slammed towards Feng. So strong. Feng paled in fright when he sensed the might of Mo Qingyun's palm strike. His face twitched violently. He had never imagined that Mo Qingyun's strength would actually be so terrifying, enough to be comparable to an expert at the constellation level. While Mo Qingyun was still in shock, he did not dare to be careless. He quickly blocked Mo Qingyun's palm. Divine ability, White Crane spreads its wings. Feng spread his arms and assumed the posture of spreading his wings. A terrifying immortal spiritual energy erupted from his body. The immortal spiritual energy burst out from Feng's body and turned into the shadow of a white crane. It spread its wings and soared into the sky. Whoosh! The shadow of the white crane let out a cry and violently collided with the gigantic palm in the air. However, as soon as the shadow of the white crane came into contact with the gigantic palm, it was overbearingly blasted away by the gigantic palm and gradually dissipated in the air. The gigantic palm blasted away the shadow of the white crane. Its attack power did not diminish and continued to bombard Feng below. Seeing such a scene, Feng was so scared that his expression trembled. He quickly rolled away like a lazy donkey and rolled out of the palace. Feng was indeed a half-step golden immortal powerhouse. Although he had suppressed his cultivation level, his movement speed was still very fast. Feng's roll allowed him to avoid the attack of the gigantic palm and escape to the outside of the palace. Boom! The gigantic palm fell and exploded with a loud bang, stirring up a terrifying wave of mud and stones. The moment the wave of mud and stones appeared, it swept out in all directions and instantly engulfed Feng at the entrance of the palace. After a short while, when the wave of air dissipated, Feng's hair was disheveled and his clothes were sloppy. He looked very miserable. At this moment, many people in the surroundings were attracted by the commotion caused by the fight between Mo Qingyun and Feng. When they saw Feng's appearance, they were all shocked and could not believe what they saw with their own eyes. Is that Feng? Why is he in such a sorry state? Just who is so powerful to be able to put Feng into such a sorry state? Could it be Zhong Yao? Apart from him, I'm afraid no one else has such strength. That's not necessarily true. That person called Yin Xiaoqiong is not weaker than Zhong Yao. Look, someone is coming out of the palace. He should be the one who made O Feng so miserable. Seeing O Feng's appearance, the surrounding people looked at each other and were curious about who had done it. When the crowd saw the person who came out of the palace, they were all dumbfounded. It's him, the person who flew at an extremely fast speed and was being chased by the golden immortal powerhouse. Isn't he only at the lesser star realm? How could he make O Feng so miserable? Everyone was puzzled and puzzled. This result was far beyond their expectations. Mo Qingyun chose to ignore the astonished crowd and O Feng, who was in a sorry state. Since he had won the bet just now, he could directly leave and no longer need to pay attention to that O Feng. First, he had suffered a loss at the hands of Mo Qingyun. Now, he was being ridiculed by the surrounding people. How could O Feng let Mo Qingyun go so easily? Stop! Looking at Mo Qingyun, who was about to leave, O Feng's face was gloomy and he shouted angrily. If he did not teach Mo Qingyun a lesson, how could he continue to stand in the Cloud Crane Mountain range in the future? Hearing O Feng's words, Mo Qingyun stopped and turned to look at O Feng. He asked, "What's wrong? You want to renege on your loss? Loser." Loser? Hearing Mo Qingyun's title, O Feng was so angry that his skin trembled. He felt that the word was unusually harsh. He had been called a loser by a person at the lesser star realm. Was there anything more humiliating than this? Just now, because I suppressed my cultivation and was careless, I was accidentally attacked by you. O Feng forcefully suppressed his shame when he thought of his performance just now. He forcefully defended himself, trying to regain some face for himself. Mo Qingyun seemed to have expected that O Feng would say such a thing. He was not surprised when he heard it. He smiled faintly and said, "A loss is a loss. Looking for excuses is just the behavior of a weakling." Humph! Sharp-tongued brat. Seeing that he could not out-talk Mo Qingyun, O Feng was so angry that he gnashed his teeth. It was rare for him to argue with Mo Qingyun. He shouted, "Since you're so arrogant, don't blame me. Now, I'll show you the true strength of a half-step golden immortal." After O Feng finished speaking, he no longer suppressed his cultivation and displayed his full strength. Suddenly, a terrifying aura of a half-step golden immortal burst out from O Feng's body. Seeing O Feng display his full strength, the surrounding people immediately became serious and worried for Mo Qingyun. Chapter 1547. If that's the case, then let me experience the power of a half-step golden immortal. Facing the pressure of O Feng's aura, Mo Qingyun did not show any fear. Instead, he erupted with a strong battle intent. Under the shroud of Mo Qingyun's battle intent, the expressions of the surrounding people changed drastically. They could not help but feel their blood boiling. At this moment, a strange feeling was born in their hearts. It was as if they were Mo Qingyun. What a terrifying battle intent. Under the influence of this battle intent, I have the urge to fight. It's not just the urge to fight. I feel like I'm Mo Qingyun. I can't wait to fight with O Feng. I didn't expect him to erupt with such a terrifying battle intent. This kid is too monstrous. I wonder what kind of performance he will have in a battle with O Feng. Regardless of the result, his current performance is enough to make him proud. Sensing Mo Qingyun's battle intent, everyone was looking forward to seeing how Mo Qingyun would perform. This kid can actually emit such a battle intent. I can't help but feel afraid. Under the shroud of Mo Qingyun's battle intent, O Feng's heart trembled. He could not help but feel a trace of fear. Realizing that he was frightened by Mo Qingyun's battle intent, O Feng's expression immediately turned ferocious. With a sinister expression, he said, "Kid, so what if your battle intent is strong? In the face of absolute strength, you can only be crushed. Divine ability, thousand crane perplexing track." O Feng's figure flashed and transformed into countless shadow. It was so dazzling that no one could distinguish his real body. Seeing such a scene, Everyone was at a loss. They could not distinguish O Feng's real body. Mo Qingyun is in trouble now. If he can't find O Feng's real body, he can only take a beating. O Feng is indeed the leader of the four princes. His strength is incomparable to ordinary people. Mo Qingyun's speed is comparable to O Feng's. I'm afraid it will be very difficult for him to avoid O Feng's attack. Seeing the powerful means O Feng displayed, everyone revealed worried expressions. They couldn't help but feel a trace of pity in their hearts. They didn't want to see Mo Qingyun being reduced to a punching bag by O Feng. Making some fake bodies? Are you trying to hide your real body? Mo Qingyun looked around and guessed O Feng's true thoughts. He curled his lips in disdain and said, "Since that's the case, I'll play with you and see who can hide better." Hidden door. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he used the concealment door to hide his figure and aura. Soon, Mo Qingyun's figure disappeared from everyone's perception. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were instantly stunned and rubbed their eyes frantically. Such a situation was far beyond his expectations. Mo Qingyun's concealment means we're actually even more monstrous than O Feng's, directly vanishing into thin air. That kid is gone. Even his aura has completely disappeared. What a terrifying concealment means. O Feng is in big trouble now. Yeah, he can't even find him. How is he going to fight with him? As time continues to pass, O Feng's real body will be discovered sooner or later. At that time, he'll be in trouble. If that's the case, could it be that O Feng lost again in this confrontation? Seeing Mo Qingyun's figure disappear, the surrounding people were all dumbfounded. Once again, they had a whole new level of respect for Mo Qingyun. How? How can this be? Even his aura has disappeared. Among the hundreds and thousands of afterimages, one of them had a gloomy expression and a panicked tone as he muttered to himself. This was O Feng's real body. He couldn't accept that he had been defeated time and time again in a fight with a person from small star position. So his real body is here? When O Feng's expression changed, Mo Qingyun caught the details and a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Since he had found O Feng's real body, he didn't need to be polite anymore. Mo Qingyun took out the scarlet meteorite battle halberd. His figure flashed and stabbed at O Feng. Where is he? He disappeared again. Because Mo Qingyun had activated his immortal spiritual power, O Feng sensed him. However, just as O Feng discovered Mo Qingyun, he couldn't sense him again. Seeing Mo Qingyun disappear again, O Feng's expression immediately tensed up and he nervously guarded his surroundings. However, no matter how he sensed, he still couldn't find Mo Qingyun. Boy, don't hide anymore. Is there any meaning in playing this game of hide and seek? Seeing that he couldn't find Mo Qingyun's existence, O Feng revealed a panicked expression and shouted in a flustered tone. He had forgotten who started this game first. He wanted to hide his real body to give Mo Qingyun a fatal blow, but in the end, he was tricked by Mo Qingyun. This result was really ironic. A swift and fierce aura suddenly appeared in front of O Feng and approached him at an extremely fast speed. Then, O Feng saw a halberd blade that was constantly growing bigger and bombarding his head. Divine ability, immortal crane embracing the moon. Facing Mo Qingyun's halberd, O Feng didn't have time to think and immediately hugged his arms in front of him. As O Feng wrapped his arms around himself, a terrifying amount of immortal spiritual energy rapidly gathered outside his body. Then, a crane shadow condensed outside his body and hugged him tightly with its wings. Bang! The scarlet meteorite battle halberd hit the crane shadow and immediately exploded with a loud bang, blasting out a terrifying spiritual power. Then, everyone saw the place where the halberd blade hit, blossoming with a dazzling light and erupting with a terrifying spiritual power storm. Under the impact of this spiritual power storm, O Feng was immediately sent flying, looking very miserable. However, because O Feng was strong enough, he didn't suffer too serious injuries. Boy, you're just SOSO. With your cultivation, you can't hurt me. Realizing that Mo Qingyun's halberd didn't cause any harm to him. O Feng sneered complacently. In his opinion, he had figured out Mo Qingyun's depth. Is that so? Hearing O Feng's words, Mo Qingyun's lips curled up slightly, and he was ready to show some of his trump cards. After the fight with O Feng just now, he already had a clear understanding of the situation of his strength. With his current strength, he couldn't crush a half-step golden immortal powerhouse without using any of his trump cards. If he used some of his trump cards to increase his combat strength, the result would be hard to say. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was about to use his trump cards, a figure flew toward him at an extremely fast speed. Yin Xiaoqiong was here. Seeing Yin Xiaoqiong's arrival, Mo Qingyun frowned, and his expression immediately became solemn. It was a little troublesome to deal with two half-step golden immortals at the same time. Of course, it was just a little troublesome. Mo Qingyun wasn't afraid. Chapter 1548. Boy, let's see where you can escape to this time. Yin Xiaoqiong arrived in front of Mo Qingyun in a few flashes. He glared at Mo Qingyun with a dark expression. O Feng sneered when he saw Yin Xiaoqiong. He turned to Yin Xiaoqiong and said, "Fellow cultivator, Mo Qingyun is very cunning. How about we join forces to deal with him to prevent him from escaping?" "Sure, but I want him alive." Yin Xiaoqiong's purpose was to capture Mo Qingyun, so he would not object to help. No problem. O Feng nodded when he saw that Yin Xiaoqiong was willing to cooperate. His purpose was to teach Mo Qingyun a lesson and avenge his humiliation. He did not care how Yin Xiaoqiong would deal with Mo Qingyun. In his opinion, given Yin Xiaoqiong's hatred for Mo Qingyun would not have a good ending if he fell into his hands. Mo Qingyun, now that the two of us have joined forces, prepare to die. O Feng was emboldened when he formed a united front with Yin Xiaoqiong. He laughed like a villain who had achieved his goal. Mo Qingyun sneered when he saw O Feng's reaction. He said disdainfully, "You two are half-step to the golden celestial stage powerhouses. How dare you join forces to deal with a person in the lesser star stage? Your faces are really unparalleled. Humph, you want to provoke us? Your trick won't work." O Feng's face darkened when he heard Mo Qingyun's mocking words. He exchanged a look with Yin Xiaoqiong and said, "Fellow cultivator, this boy has a sharp tongue. We don't need to talk nonsense with him. Let's attack him directly." "Okay." Yin Xiaoqiong nodded and charged toward Mo Qingyun with O Feng. Good timing. Mo Qingyun did not show the slightest trace of fear in the face of O Feng's duo. With a proud expression, he said boldly, "If that's the case, today I, Mo Qingyun, will face two powerhouses at the half-step golden immortal stage alone." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, a terrifying battle intent erupted from his body. Under the cover of this battle intent, the surrounding people suddenly felt their blood boil, and they all cheered for Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun's battle intent seems to be even stronger than before. Could it be that this fellow was still holding back in the fight just now? He dared to hold back his strength when fighting with two half-step golden immortal stage experts. This is too shocking. What is the limit of this strength? Everyone was excited, and the curiosity in their hearts reached an unprecedented level. Blood Chi Frenzy, Devil God Transformation. Hearing the crowd's words, Mo Qingyun let out a bold and unrestrained laugh and used two great divine abilities in succession. Then, Mo Qingyun's body changed, and in the blink of an eye, it grew several times bigger. His long black hair swayed without wind, and his body was surrounded by devil chi. Now, Mo Qingyun gave people the feeling of an ancient devil venerable, and his body was exuding a wild and overbearing temperament. At the same time, Mo Qingyun's aura also increased by several levels in the blink of an eye. The aura of a major star pinnacle. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, O Feng and Yin Xiaoqiong were shocked, and their eyes flashed with fear. In particular, O Feng was even more shocked. Just now, when Mo Qingyun's cultivation was only at the minor star pinnacle, he could make him feel a little embarrassed. Now that Mo Qingyun's cultivation had reached the pinnacle of a major star pinnacle, he would be even more difficult to deal with. At this moment, Feng couldn't help but rejoice that Yin Xiaoqiong had arrived in time. Otherwise, if Mo Qingyun had unleashed his full strength, he would have been humiliated. Heavenly Flames, Sky-Breaking Halberd. After raising his cultivation, Mo Qingyun immediately waved the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd, and an astonishing flame spiritual power burst out. The terrifying flame spiritual power burst out from the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd and turned into a huge dragon shadow halberd light. Roar! The dragon shadow halberd light twisted its huge body, and with a burst of dragon roars, it blasted toward Feng and Yin Xiaoqiong in a violent manner. Under the bombardment of the dragon shadow halberd light, the sky and earth suddenly changed color and turned into a world of flames. The battle strength of a half-step golden immortal. No wonder this kid could kill junior brother Yu and the others. Seeing the battle strength displayed by Mo Qingyun, Yin Xiaoqiong's face sank, and killing intent burst out from his eyes. He finally understood why Mo Qingyun's strength was only at the minor star pinnacle. It was enough to kill Yu Wenhe and the others. Compared to Yin Xiaoqiong's surprise, Feng's current state of mind was fear, and his fear of Mo Qingyun had reached the extreme. Mo Qingyun's current strength is actually not much different from mine. Sensing the power of the dragon shadow halberd light, Feng's expression was uncertain, and he appeared to be a little timid. After fighting with Mo Qingyun again and again, he found that he had underestimated Mo Qingyun time and time again. Mo Qingyun gave him the feeling of a bottomless pit, and he could never see through Mo Qingyun. Divine ability, 100 cranes homing. The long sword in Feng's hand waved rapidly, displaying a graceful immortal spiritual power that turned into the shadow of an immortal crane. When these immortal cranes appeared, they circled above Mo Qingyun and bombarded the dragon shadow halberd light at the same time. The imposing manner of these immortal crane shadows was very strong, and the power of each immortal crane was comparable to the full blow of a half-step golden immortal powerhouse. Divine ability, Fury of the Firmament. When Feng attacked, Yin Xiaoqiong did not stay idle, and he raised his head to the sky and roared. Under his roar, his body underwent a tremendous change, and he turned into a dragon claw lion beast with a single horn. Yin Xiaoqiong transformed into a dragon claw lion beast, and he stretched out his claw toward the dragon shadow halberd light, waving out a terrifying claw shadow. Under the attack of the claw shadow, cracks appeared in the space, and a terrifying suction force erupted. Seeing Yin Xiaoqiong and Feng's attack, everyone was immediately frightened, and their faces turned pale. What a terrifying attack! Is this the strength of a half-step golden immortal? Yin Xiaoqiong is so terrifying. He can actually transform into a savage beast. Facing Yin Xiaoqiong and Feng's joint attack, even Zhong Yao and the rest will be defeated. Qingyun is really going to lose this time. It's a pity that such a monstrous genius is going to die here today. Looking at the situation before them, everyone did not think that Mo Qingyun could leave this place alive. Boom! Just as everyone was feeling regretful, a deafening sound came from the sky. Immediately after, everyone saw a gorgeous light explode in midair, bringing along a destructive storm. Faced with the impact of this storm, everyone's expressions were filled with fear as they quickly retreated backwards. Boom! Boom! Under the storm, the surrounding palaces were blown up one after another, turning into piles of ruins. After a short while, when the spiritual energy storm dissipated, the figures of Mo Qingyun and the other two reappeared. Mo Qingyun, who was in midair, still looked indifferent, and Mo Qingyun did not seem to be injured at all. On the other hand, Feng and Yin Xiaoqiong were swept up by the spiritual energy storm, and they looked a little embarrassed. Looking at the stark contrast, everyone trembled and could not believe that it was real. Chapter 1549. In the confrontation just now, Mo Qingyun won. It It seems so. Mo Qingyun did have the upper hand. Is this the strength of a minor star? Since when did the strength of a minor star become so powerful? If this guy breaks through to the major star realm, won't he be able to sweep across the entire true immortal realm? Seeing Mo Qingyun's amazing performance, everyone couldn't help but sigh with emotion. They were stunned by such a scene. They originally thought that Mo Qingyun wouldn't be able to withstand the joint attack of Yin Xiaoqiong and Huang Xiaolong. They didn't expect that the final result would be like this. It was beyond their expectations. Today, their horizons were broadened. Their previous perceptions were completely shattered. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Because the commotion caused by Mo Qingyun's group of three's battle was too great, another large group of people was drawn over. Zhong Yao and the others also came with these people. Hey, it's O Feng. He's fighting with someone. Who's the person opposite them? Seeing O Feng and Huang Xiaolong's posture, Guanfeng was surprised and guessed who was fighting with them. Because Mo Qingyun had used the demon god transformation, Guanfeng didn't recognize him. That person's cultivation is only at the peak of the true immortal realm, but he can fight with O Feng and Huang Xiaolong. This is too surprising. Lu Muji was also shocked. He knew very well that if it was him, he would never be able to do this. What? That person is Mo Qingyun? That kid with a fast movement technique. Hearing the whispers next to him, Huang Xian's expression trembled and he shouted in shock. He couldn't believe that a minor star could fight with two half-step golden immortal realm powerhouses. No matter how good Mo Qingyun's movement technique was, it was still too ridiculous. It's that kid. Hearing Huang Xian's words, Zhong Yao and the others were also shocked. They were surprised by the situation. Mo Qingyun, I underestimated you. I can't believe you can take our joint attack. Looking at Mo Qingyun, Yin Xiaoqiong was slightly shocked. He was surprised by Mo Qingyun's strength. Upon hearing Yin Xiaoqiong's words, Mo Qingyun smiled nonchalantly and said casually, "What's so strange about taking a blow from the two of you? It wouldn't be too difficult for me to crush the two of you." Shameless boasting. Hearing Mo Qingyun's arrogant words, Yin Xiaoqiong's face darkened and he immediately rushed toward Mo Qingyun. When Yin Xiaoqiong rushed towards Mo Qingyun, O Feng didn't dare to hesitate and charged towards Mo Qingyun as well. Combination gate. Mo Qingyun no longer held back when facing the combined forces of Yin Xiaoqiong and Li Tianlan. He immediately used the combination door. The combination gate was unleashed by Mo Qingyun. A terrifying sealing power immediately enveloped the surrounding 5 kilometers. The expressions of everyone in this area changed drastically. They felt that their blood, qi, and soul were being suppressed by a domineering force. How? How could this be? My qi, blood, and spiritual souls are being suppressed by a force. My cultivation, why is it slipping? It's him. It's Mo Qingyun's superpower that has sealed our cultivation. What a terrifying superpower. Mo Qingyun is too demonic. Let's retreat quickly. His divine ability only covers an area of 10 miles in diameter. Seeing the power of Mo Qingyun's superpower, everyone's expression changed drastically, and they quickly retreated. The others could retreat, but Yin Xiaoqiong and O Feng weren't so lucky. Unless they gave up on Mo Qingyun and turned to run away immediately. 2 powerhouses at the half-step golden celestial stage had been defeated by a person at the lesser star stage, and they had to flee in a sorry state. This was a very shameful thing. Yin Xiaoqiong and O Feng couldn't afford to lose face like this. Under the seal of the combination gate, Yin Xiaoqiong and O Feng's cultivation began to slip. In the blink of an eye, they had fallen to the constellation realm. Constellation realm. My cultivation has fallen to the constellation realm. O Feng's pupils shrank when he realized his current cultivation. He looked at Mo Qingyun with fear in his eyes. If this continued, the two of them might be toyed to death by Mo Qingyun's attacks. Why are you still standing there? Come and help me. Realizing his current situation, O Feng could not care less. He immediately asked Zhong Yao and the others for help. With this brat's astonishing methods, none of us will be his match if we meet him alone. If we don't get rid of him, none of us will be able to obtain the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass. Feng is right. Mo Qingyun is too strange. We have to get rid of him first. If we don't get rid of Mo Qingyun, we won't be able to resist if he wants to take our things. What do you think? Do you want to deal with Mo Qingyun together? This guy's existence is indeed a hidden danger. We should get rid of him first. Zhong Yao and the others discussed and immediately came to an agreement. They decided to get rid of Mo Qingyun first. This was because they felt that Mo Qingyun was more of a threat to them than anyone else. If they didn't get rid of Mo Qingyun, they wouldn't be able to feel at ease. Zhong Yao and the others didn't hesitate and immediately charged toward Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Zhong Yao and the others had also attacked, the surrounding people were shocked. They were quite frightened by this scene. What? Zhong Yao and the others have also attacked. Are they planning to fight 7 against 1? If that's the case, does Mo Qingyun still have the strength to fight back? From this, it can be seen just how much pressure Mo Qingyun has given them. This is too unbelievable. A person of the lesser star realm can actually exert such pressure. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have imagined that such a thing would happen. Today, even if Mo Qingyun is defeated, he can be proud of himself. Seeing that Zhong Yao and the other 4 had also joined the battle, the crowd was filled with emotions. They were completely convinced by Mo Qingyun. A person in a lesser star realm and an expert in the half-step to golden celestial realm could not be compared. However, Mo Qingyun's performance today had completely broken everyone's understanding and connected the two together. All 7 of you together? Seeing the actions of Zhong Yao and the others, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and his expression was filled with mockery. The actions of Zhong Yao and the others didn't make him afraid. Instead, it aroused his fighting spirit. Since you plan to win with numbers, I don't need to hold back anymore. Glancing at Zhong Yao and the others, Mo Qingyun's fighting spirit instantly reached an unprecedented level. Since everyone wanted to play, he would play to his heart's content. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's expression changed drastically and their hearts trembled. Chapter 1550. Stop putting on airs. I don't believe that you still have any trump cards up your sleeves. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yin Xiaoqiong shouted with a ferocious expression. He believed that Mo Qingyun was at the end of his rope. However, Feng's thoughts were the exact opposite of Yin Xiaoqiong's. He believed that Mo Qingyun might still have some trump cards up his sleeves. Ever since he had fought with Mo Qingyun, he had seen Mo Qingyun continuously reveal his trump cards. It was as though he had an endless supply of them. Therefore, when he heard Mo Qingyun's words, he did not dare to underestimate or doubt him. Will you come out and fight with me? Mo Qingyun did not respond to Yin Xiaoqiong's words. He directly summoned Wu Yu and said, after we go through this battle, no one will be able to stop us from fighting for the Crane Return Cliff Herb with White Crane Meteor Palace. Great. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wu Yu was pleasantly surprised. His body exuded a fighting spirit. Once he obtained a red-crowned crane herb, he would be able to break through to the golden celestial stage. When his cultivation level broke through to the golden celestial stage, his strength would increase by several folds. So it's just a helper at the half-step golden celestial stage. I thought you had some powerful trump cards up your sleeves. Upon seeing Mo Qingyun summon Wu Yu, Yin Xiaoqiong's face was filled with disdain. He looked at Mo Qingyun with even more disdain. Although his current cultivation level had dropped to the constellation stage, he was not afraid of a half-step golden celestial stage. Moreover, the strength of the 6 people beside them was comparable to that of a half-step golden celestial stage. In this way, their overall combat strength was still above that of Mo Qingyun. Fusion Gate. Mo Qingyun did not respond to Yin Xiaoqiong's words. Instead, he displayed the Fusion Gate. As the Fusion Gate was unleashed, Mo Qingyun began to fuse with Wu Yu. His aura rose rapidly. Not long after, the aura emitted by Mo Qingyun had reached the level of a half-step golden celestial. Half-step golden immortal realm. Mo Qingyun's cultivation base had reached the half-step golden immortal realm. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, everyone's expression trembled. They were stunned by Mo Qingyun's performance. Not only did he have a trump card, but it was also a very powerful trump card. Mo Qingyun's cultivation base has reached the half-step golden celestial stage. Is this the trump card he was talking about? This trump card is too terrifying. A divine ability to increase one's cultivation base. A divine ability to seal the strength of others. Is there anything that Mo Qingyun doesn't know? Who the hell is this kid? Where did he come from? At this moment, everyone felt their heads buzzing. They felt that their thoughts were not enough. Half-step golden celestial stage. He really has a trump card, and it's such a powerful trump card. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, Ophone was so scared that his face was as pale as a sheet of paper. Right now, he was truly terrified of Mo Qingyun to the extreme. He didn't even have the thought of resisting. Mo Qingyun was only at the small star stage. When he was at the half-step golden celestial stage, Mo Qingyun could be on par with him. Now that he and Mo Qingyun's identities were switched, he was no match for Mo Qingyun. This kid has such a divine ability. We're in big trouble now. It seems that we made the wrong decision just now. It's too late to say this now. Let's fight with all our strength later. In my opinion, we'd better run if we can, lest it's too late to escape later. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, Zhong Yao and the others looked grave and tense. Heaven, soul, heaven, sealing fist. While Zhong Yao and the others were tense, Mo Qingyun did not talk nonsense with them and punched out without hesitation. A terrifying celestial spiritual power gathered above them and condensed into a huge fist. After the fist was condensed, it blasted toward Zhong Yao and the others below, exuding a restrictive force. Run! Seeing Mo Qingyun's overbearing attack, Zhong Yao and the others no longer cared about their dignity and immediately began to run for their lives. They could see that even if they joined forces, they would not be Mo Qingyun's match. If they continued to stay, it would be no different from courting death. Boom! The heaven, soul, heaven, sealing fist fell. Yin Xiaoqiong and Jiang Weijie, who were slow to escape, were immediately hit by the heaven, soul, heaven, sealing fist. Then, Yin Xiaoqiong and Jiang Weijie's movements were immediately restrained by force. I can't move my body. Seeing that he could not move his body, Jiang Weijie's face paled and he looked terrified. He begged for mercy. Little brother, I failed to recognize Mount Tai. I hope you can be magnanimous and spare me this time. Spare you? Mo Qingyun glanced at Jiang Weijie and showed a trace of hesitation, considering whether to kill him or not. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, killing Jiang Weijie would not mean much to him. Instead, it would cause some trouble. After all, he would be heading to the Nine-Tailed Fox clan soon. If others found out that he was related to the Nine-Tailed Fox clan, they might vent their anger on the Nine-Tailed Fox clan if they could not find him for revenge. Mo Qingyun did not want this to happen. As for killing Zhong Yao of the Heaven-Devouring Wolf clan, Mo Qingyun would not be lenient. After all, he had already killed Soin. We'll talk about your matter later. Wait for me to kill him first. Mo Qingyun responded to Jiang Weijie. He looked at Yin Xiaoqiong, and his body emitted a murderous intent. Yin Xiaoqiong had tried to kill him time and time again. How could I let him live? I had no intention of offending Xin Xiao, but he tried to kill me time and time again. So, don't blame me for being merciless. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he slapped at Yin Xiaoqiong with a terrifying immortal spiritual force. Don't worry. Among Xin Xiao and his disciples, you won't be the last one I kill. Soon, there will be others to accompany you. Superpower, Wild Lion stomping the sky. Facing Mo Qingyun's attack, Yin Xiaoqiong did not wait for death. He waved his claws at the palm in the air. Bang, bang, bang. Yin Xiaoqiong's claws slammed into the giant palm. Immediately, loud bangs were heard and waves of spiritual force burst out. However, under the waves of spiritual force, Yin Xiaoqiong's aura became weaker and weaker. He could no longer maintain his beast form. Bang! Yin Xiaoqiong persisted for a few breaths. Finally, he could not withstand the power of Mo Qingyun's palm and was slammed to the ground by Mo Qingyun's palm. As Yin Xiaoqiong was slammed to the ground, he spat out blood and returned to his human form. His face was pale as he said angrily, Mo Qingyun, even if you kill me today, Master and Senior Brothers will not let you go. That's a matter for the future. At least I can kill one and earn one now. Mo Qingyun did not take Yin Xiaoqiong's words to heart. He did not hesitate to grab Yin Xiaoqiong. Then, Mo Qingyun grabbed Yin Xiaoqiong's head and crushed it domineeringly. During this time, Yin Xiaoqiong's soul did not even escape. It was crushed by Mo Qingyun. Chapter 1551. Seeing what happened to Yin Xiaoqiong, Zhang Weijia's body trembled and his face turned even paler. He was sure that if he couldn't change Mo Qingyun's decision, he would end up like Yin Xiaoqiong. While Zhang Weijia was trembling all over, Mo Qingyun turned to look at him, a cold glint in her eyes. Please don't kill me. As long as you promise not to kill me, I'll do anything. Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, Zhang Weijia was so scared that his lips trembled. He hurriedly begged Mo Qingyun. Seeing Zhang Weijia's reaction, Mo Qingyun said coldly, "Open up your sea of consciousness and let me plant a soul imprint in it." Plant a soul imprint? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zhang Weijia's expression froze for a moment before a bitter expression appeared on his face. How could he not know that Mo Qingyun wanted to enslave him? Okay. Although he knew what Mo Qingyun was thinking, Zhang Weijia still nodded and agreed. He knew very well that he had no right to bargain now. He could either submit or be killed. It was better to live than to die. Although becoming Mo Qingyun's slave was better than being killed. Besides, with Mo Qingyun's monstrous talent, it was not shameful to become his servant. After a while, Mo Qingyun planted a soul imprint in Zhang Weijia's sea of consciousness and successfully subdued him. Master, Zhong Yao and the others have escaped. Should we chase after them? Thinking of his current fate and the escape of Zhong Yao and the others, Zhang Weijia immediately encouraged Mo Qingyun. He was unhappy. They had all dealt with Mo Qingyun together. Why was he enslaved while Zhong Yao and the others escaped successfully? Especially Feng. If he hadn't encouraged everyone, he wouldn't have ended up like this. No, ignore them for now. I have to find a red-crowned crane returning cliff herb first. Mo Qingyun shook his head at Zhang Weijia's suggestion. He decided to find a red-crowned crane returning cliff grass first. To Mo Qingyun, apart from Zhong Yao, the life and death of the other 4 young masters were of no importance at all. If he encountered them, he would kill them. If he didn't, then so be it. They were just small fries. Yes. After learning of Mo Qingyun's thoughts, Zhang Weijia was disappointed and nodded respectfully. Since he knew Mo Qingyun's decision, he didn't dare to try to persuade him again. He didn't want to end up with the opposite result. After instructing Zhang Weijia, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment and said to Zhang Weijia, "With your means, enslaving some people and having them help you find a red-crowned crane returning cliff grass shouldn't be a problem, right?" "Of course it's not a problem." Zhang Weijia raised his head proudly and responded with a confident expression. "Very good." Seeing Zhang Weijia's performance, Mo Qingyun nodded with satisfaction and ordered him, "Now, go and enslave some people and have them help you find a red-crowned crane returning cliff grass. If there's any news about the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass, immediately send me a soul message." Yes. After hearing Mo Qingyun's order, Zhang Weijia didn't dare to hesitate and went to complete Mo Qingyun's instructions. Although there were many cultivators around at this moment, Zhang Weijia didn't dare to lay a hand on them. If he incurred the wrath of the crowd, it would be a terrible result. He had to lay his hands on them one by one. After instructing Jiang Weijia, Mo Qingyun didn't stop and continued to search for the red-crowned crane, returning cliff grass alone. I didn't expect that Zhong Yao and the other 4 cultivators together couldn't defeat Mo Qingyun. It seems that we've underestimated him. His matters can be inferred according to conventional reasoning. No wonder even the powerhouses at the Golden Celestial stage couldn't do anything to him. It turns out that his strength is so terrifying. Seeing Mo Qingyun and Jiang Weijia leave, the surrounding people had complicated expressions and couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. What was a genius? What was a monster? Only a person like Mo Qingyun could be called a real genius and a monster. With the cultivation of a small star, he fought 7 powerhouses at the half-step to the Golden Celestial stage and killed them, escaped, and surrendered. Such a shocking battle record was enough to be recorded in the history books. As the space in the Crane Meteor Palace was too big, Mo Qingyun didn't know what the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass looked like. Therefore, Mo Qingyun had been searching for a few hours, but he didn't make any progress. As for Jiang Weijia, there was also no news at all. Master, I've recovered from my injuries. Just as Mo Qingyun was feeling helpless, Lightning Cloud Crane's voice suddenly appeared in his mind. You've recovered so quickly. Hearing Lightning Cloud Crane's voice transmission, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised and immediately summoned Lightning Cloud Crane. After summoning Lightning Cloud Crane, Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up and he suddenly had an idea. He asked, Lightning Cloud Crane, you've been in the Crane Meteor Palace for so long. Do you know where the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass grows? Master, you want the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass? Lightning Cloud Crane asked in surprise when it heard Mo Qingyun's words. That's right. Mo Qingyun nodded and didn't deny it. I know where they're hiding. I'll bring you there now, Lightning Cloud Crane replied. Then it carried Mo Qingyun to look for the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass. Along the way, Lightning Cloud Crane briefly explained some information about the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass to Mo Qingyun. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that the red-crowned cranes that carried him into the Crane Meteor Palace were actually the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass. This result made Mo Qingyun want to vomit blood. After all this time, the treasure they were looking for had appeared right in front of them, and they didn't even know about it. Mo Qingyun could imagine if Lightning Cloud Crane hadn't told him the answer. Even if he turned the Crane Meteor Palace upside down, he wouldn't be able to find the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass. Mo Qingyun rode on Lightning Cloud Crane and returned to the entrance of the Crane Meteor Palace in the blink of an eye. However, he didn't see any trace of the red-crowned cranes. They're gone. Seeing this situation, Mo Qingyun was stunned and couldn't help but feel anxious. If the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass had hidden, how was he going to find them when the Crane Meteor Palace was so big? Master, don't worry. I know where they're hiding. Realizing that the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass wasn't here, Lightning Cloud Crane flashed and continued to search with Mo Qingyun on its back. Before long, cute miniature red-crowned cranes appeared before Mo Qingyun's eyes. These were the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass. Master, these are the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass. The Lightning Cloud Crane introduced to Mo Qingyun when it saw the miniature versions of the cute and adorable immortal cranes. Hearing Lightning Cloud Crane's telepathic message, Mo Qingyun's expression lit up and he immediately became excited. After searching for so long, he finally found the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass. Of course, while Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised, he also felt emotional. If Lightning Cloud Crane hadn't brought him here, he probably wouldn't have been able to recognize the red-crowned crane returning cliff grass. Chapter 1552. Master, the crane returning cliff's grass is very fast. There's only one chance to catch them. Looking at the crane returning cliff's grass in front of them, the Lightning Cloud Crane reminded Mo Qingyun in a serious tone. Hearing the Lightning Cloud Crane's words, Mo Qingyun's expression was shocked. He said with some surprise, "Could it be that their flying speed is faster than yours?" Their flying speed is not fast, but they have the ability to escape through space. They can travel through space to escape. In response to Mo Qingyun's puzzled words, the lightning cloud crane gave a simple explanation, which made Mo Qingyun very surprised. The crane returning Cliff's grass could escape through space. They really had no way to catch it. So that's how it is. It seems that if we want to catch the crane returning Cliff's grass, we really have to do it in one hit. Mo Qingyun's face showed that he understood. He couldn't help but frown. His expression immediately became tense. The crane returning Cliff's grass has the ability to escape through space. Even if we set up a formation, it won't work. What should we do to be foolproof? Mo Qingyun frowned. He was thinking of a perfect plan in his heart, but he didn't rush forward rashly. Got it. After a short moment of thinking, Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up. He thought of an excellent plan. The crane returning Cliff's grass has already gained intelligence and has a simple consciousness. If I use my soul power to imprison their souls, they shouldn't know how to escape. Lightning Cloud Crane, let's go. Having thought of an excellent plan, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more time and immediately ordered the Lightning Cloud Crane. When he heard Mo Qingyun's order, Lightning Cloud Crane's figure flashed and transformed into an afterimage that vanished. In the blink of an eye, the Lightning Cloud Crane carried Mo Qingyun and arrived in front of the crane returning Cliff's grass. Arriving in front of the crane returning Cliff's grass, the Lightning Cloud Crane bit forward, preparing to bite one of the crane returning Cliff's grass. Unfortunately, the crane returning Cliff's grass reacted very quickly and dodged its attack in the blink of an eye. When the Lightning Cloud Crane attacked, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and immediately attacked the crane returning Cliff's grass. Soul Prison. A terrifying soul force burst out from Mo Qingyun's left eye, instantly striking several red-crowned cranes returning Cliff grass. After being hit by Mo Qingyun's soul attack, the cranes returning Cliff grass immediately froze, as if they had been hit by a spell. Success. Seeing that the red-crowned cranes had stopped moving, Mo Qingyun was delighted and immediately erased their consciousness. Since the immortal cranes returning Cliff grass had the ability to teleport, it would not be safe to put them in the 5-directional pagoda. In order to ensure that nothing went wrong, it was better to erase their intelligence so that they would not have the consciousness to escape. 5 stalks of red-crowned crane returning Cliff grass. Master is really amazing. Seeing Mo Qingyun put away the red-crowned crane returning Cliff grass, the Lightning Cloud Crane was shocked. It was even more impressed by Mo Qingyun. Others would have to rack their brains and rack their brains just to get a single stalk of red-crowned crane returning Cliff grass, and might not even succeed. Mo Qingyun had obtained 5 stalks in one go. The difference between the two was too great. Seeing that he had obtained the red-crowned crane returning Cliff grass, Mo Qingyun did not want to stay any longer and prepared to leave the Crane Meteor Palace immediately. Enter the 5-directional pagoda first. Because the Lightning Cloud Crane was too conspicuous, Mo Qingyun decided to let it hide first to prevent unnecessary trouble. After sending the Lightning Cloud Crane into the 5-directional pagoda, Mo Qingyun sent a message to Jiang Weijia, telling him that he could leave the Crane Meteor Palace now. While leaving the Crane Meteor Palace, Missouri Qingyun gave Weiyu 3 stalks of red-crowned crane, returning Cliff grass for him to refine and raise his cultivation. After obtaining 3 stalks of red-crowned crane, returning Cliff grass, Weiyu could be said to be extremely happy. He originally thought that it would be good enough if Mo Qingyun could obtain 1 stalk. Who would have thought that he would obtain 5? Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived outside the Crane Meteor Palace. At this moment, there were still many people lingering outside the Crane Meteor Palace. These people were either waiting for their own clansmen or harboring evil intentions, intending to take advantage of the fact that no one was paying attention to them. In addition to the original Golden Immortal Stage experts, there were many more Golden Immortal Stage experts. These people had probably come to prevent their own clansmen from being killed and robbed after coming out of the Crane Meteor Palace. Glancing at the people around him, Mo Qingyun immediately raised his guard, wary of any sneak attacks from the people around him. Fortunately, when these people saw him, they all looked at him with disdain and disappointment. After all this time, it turns out that this brat came out. What a waste of my excitement. This brat came out now. He probably didn't get anything good. It's already good enough for a lesser star realm cultivator to come out of the Crane Meteor Palace alive. Forget it, don't bother about that brat. I don't think there's anything good to snatch. Everyone glanced at Mo Qingyun, lost interest in him, and shifted their attention away from him. Seeing their reaction, Mo Qingyun could not help but smile bitterly. Was he so useless? Although Mo Qingyun was a little depressed, he was still very happy to see such a situation. In this way, he could leave easily and avoid unnecessary trouble. Among the people in front of him, there were many powerhouses at the Great Golden Body Realm. In the face of such powerhouses, even if Mo Qingyun used a fusion gate, he might not be a match for them. Therefore, when he saw that no one paid attention to him, he was still very glad. That brat came out. Just as Mo Qingyun was about to leave, Tung Yao, who was cultivating at the side, suddenly opened his eyes. Looking at Mo Qingyun, who was about to slip away, Tung Yao's expression immediately became ferocious. He shouted angrily at Mo Qingyun, "Brat, you want to leave? It's not that easy. Get over here and accept your death." Demon Shadow, Traceless, Thunderwind Path. Seeing that Tung Yao was about to kill him, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hold back and immediately fled into the distance. Then, Mo Qingyun's body turned into an afterimage and instantly disappeared from everyone's sight. When Mo Qingyun disappeared, Tung Yao's figure also disappeared and chased after Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was being chased by Tung Yao, everyone was emotional and worried for Mo Qingyun. A person at the Lesser Star Realm was being chased by a small Golden Body Realm powerhouse. His fate was basically doomed. That brat is done for. Although that man is seriously injured, it's more than enough to deal with a person at the Lesser Star Realm. I don't know what bad things that brat did to be chased by that man. It's really curious. In my opinion, that brat might have cuckolded that man, which made him go crazy. That's very likely. Other than this, I really can't think of any other reason. Everyone was curious and guessed the reason for the hatred between Mo Qingyun and Tung Yao. The more they guessed, the more ridiculous it was. Chapter 1553. Tung Yao was indeed an expert in the minor Golden Body Realm. His flying speed was much faster than Mo Qingyun's. In just a few breaths' time, the distance between him and Mo Qingyun was easily shortened. Looking at Tung Yao's posture, he would probably be able to intercept Mo Qingyun in a few breaths' time. "Kid, you can't escape. Just give up resisting." Seeing the distance between them getting closer and closer, Tung Yao sneered with a mocking expression. In his opinion, with Mo Qingyun's minor star realm, no matter how many tricks Mo Qingyun had, he would not be able to escape today. With the distance between here and the White Crane Meteor Palace, those people should not be able to discover the situation here. Seeing that they were already far away from the White Crane Meteor Palace and out of everyone's detection range, Mo Qingyun did not plan to hide the lightning cloud crane. Immediately, Mo Qingyun summoned the lightning cloudy crane and rode on it, fleeing for his life. Mo Qingyun rode on the lightning cloud crane, and his escaping speed immediately increased, pulling the distance between him and Tung Yao. Lightning cloud crane. Seeing Mo Qingyun ride on the lightning cloud crane, Tung Yao was shocked. He gnashed his teeth in anger and said, "This damn kid actually has such good luck to tame a lightning cloud crane as his mount." Seeing the lightning cloud crane, Tung Yao immediately knew that he could not catch up with Mo Qingyun. "Since you want to kill me, I can't not retaliate at all." After pulling away from Tung Yao, Mo Qingyun smiled coldly and summoned a ghost from the five-directional pagoda. The ghost was summoned by Mo Qingyun and flew toward Tung Yao at an extremely fast speed, emitting a cold and violent aura. A golden immortal ghost. Didn't this kid only summon constellation ghosts? Seeing a golden immortal ghost attacking, Tung Yao was so frightened that his eyelids twitched. He felt that his brain was not enough. As far as he knew, Mo Qingyun could only summon constellation-level ghosts. Since when could he summon golden immortal-level ghosts? This way, if they wanted to capture Mo Qingyun, the difficulty would increase infinitely. Boom! However, before Tung Yao could recover from his shock, a scene that made his heart skip a beat happened. The golden immortal ghost actually self-destructed. The self-detonation of a golden immortal realm ghost was a terrifying thing. If he were to be engulfed by the explosion of a golden immortal ghost, he would most likely die. An earth-shattering storm suddenly erupted in midair, forming a terrifying shockwave that swept out in all directions at an extremely fast speed. Because Tung Yao was too close, he was engulfed by the shockwave before he could escape. No, don't. Engulfed by the shockwave, Tung Yao let out a miserable shriek and roared angrily. "Brad, I'm going to tear you into pieces." At this moment, Tung Yao was like a mad lion, letting out roars that resounded through the heavens and earth. I didn't expect the self-detonation of a golden immortal ghost to cause such a terrifying destruction. Fortunately, the lightning cloud crane was fast. Looking at the terrifying storm and shockwave, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with lingering fear. He could not help but feel a lingering fear. If he was not riding on the lightning cloud crane, he would have been engulfed by the storm and shockwave. If he was engulfed by the storm, Mo Qingyun could not help but shudder at the thought. The self-detonation of a golden immortal ghost is too loud. It might attract some people's attention. It's better for me to leave as soon as possible. Worried that the battle here would attract the attention of the people from Crane Meteor Palace, Missouri Qingyun rode on the lightning cloud crane and left. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh as expected. Not long after Mo Qingyun left, several figures arrived. These people were the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others who were waiting outside Crane Meteor Palace to take advantage of the situation. What a terrifying spiritual energy storm. The person who created this spiritual energy storm is at least an indestructible golden body powerhouse. It's not an indestructible golden body powerhouse. There's no aura of an indestructible golden body powerhouse in this space. Indeed, it's not an indestructible golden body powerhouse. It's caused by the self-detonation of an indestructible golden body powerhouse. Who is it that forced an indestructible golden body powerhouse to self-detonate and take the other party down with him? Looking at the scene before them, everyone was shocked and guessed the cause of the battle. Just as everyone was guessing, the storm before them gradually dissipated, revealing a battered figure. This figure's clothes were ragged, and there were countless wounds all over his body. One of his arms and one of his legs were gone. If it wasn't for his powerful cultivation, he probably wouldn't have survived such a serious injury. It's him, the person who chased after Mo Qingyun. How did he become like this? From the looks of it, he must have forced an indestructible golden body powerhouse to self-detonate. Although he forced an indestructible golden body powerhouse to self-detonate, his situation is not optimistic. At least 1,000 years of cultivation have been wasted. This should be a self-inflicted injury. However, it's not bad to be able to keep his life. Seeing Tung Yao's miserable state, everyone could not help but sigh and sympathize with him. Each and every one of the little golden body cultivators had ended up like this. This was quite miserable. Fellow Taoist, didn't you chase after that kid? How did you end up like this? Seeing Tung Yao's miserable state, the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas was puzzled. He could not help but ask Tung Yao, could it be that after you killed that kid, his elders came to fight you? It's not his elders. It's Mo Qingyun who tricked me. When Tung Yao thought about how he had fallen into Mo Qingyun's hands, he felt extremely ashamed, and a wave of resentment arose in his heart. What happened today could be said to be the most pathetic thing he had ever experienced since he started cultivating. That brat, Mo Qingyun, did it? Is he that capable? That kid is really strange. He can actually make an indestructible golden body powerhouse end up in such a miserable state. With his indestructible golden body cultivation, he can die proud of himself for dealing a fatal blow to an indestructible golden body powerhouse before his death. Seeing Tung Yao's feeble aura, everyone sighed emotionally. They were filled with admiration for Mo Qingyun. They believed that if they were in Mo Qingyun's shoes, they would never be able to do something like that. Fellow Taoist, you don't need to take this to heart. No one would have thought that an indestructible golden body powerhouse's counterattack would be so terrifying. The Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas smiled faintly and comforted Tung Yao, telling him not to take it to heart. Hearing that, Tung Yao's expression immediately twitched. He gnashed his teeth in anger. Mo Qingyun isn't dead. He tricked me and fled. Did he escape? The Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others were stunned by Tung Yao's words. They could not believe it was true. Chapter 1554. That's impossible, right? With your minor golden body, how can your flying speed be slower than his? The Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas was puzzled. He found it unbelievable as it had overturned his perception. It was too fake for a minor golden body expert to lose to someone in a minor star position in terms of flying speed. Old Demon Blackheart and the others were also puzzled when they heard this. They didn't think it was possible. I don't know what kind of luck that kid had. He tamed a lightning cloud crane as his mount, and his flying speed is much faster than mine. Tung Yao felt powerless at the thought of the lightning cloud crane's flying speed. It was too fast. In his opinion, even Xin Zhao's flying speed might not be faster than the lightning cloud crane. More importantly, Mo Qingyun's lightning cloud crane was only at the half-step golden immortal realm. Once it broke through to the golden immortal realm, its flying speed would increase again and reach an even more terrifying level. At that time, even if Xian Xiao personally made a move, he might not be able to capture Mo Qingyun. Lightning cloud crane. That kid tamed the lightning cloud crane. I've always heard that there are lightning cloud cranes in the Crane Meteor Palace. I didn't expect it to be true. Before that kid entered the Crane Meteor Palace, he didn't have a mount like the lightning cloud crane. He must have captured it in the Crane Meteor Palace. That kid is too cunning. He hid the lightning cloud crane when he came out of the Crane Meteor Palace. That kid dared to trick us. I won't let him go the next time I see him. The Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the rest were furious at the thought of missing the opportunity to capture the lightning cloud crane. They hated Mo Qingyun intensely. In their opinion, Mo Qingyun had purposely hidden the lightning cloud crane to trick them. That kid left on the lightning cloud crane. It's too late for us to chase after him. Let's return to the Crane Meteor Palace. The Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the rest didn't want to stay any longer as they were concerned about the people in the Crane Meteor Palace. Soon, they returned to the Crane Meteor Palace and continued to wait for the people inside to come out. As everyone looked around, Jiang Weijia was the first to come out. Because he had received Mo Qingyun's instructions, Jiang Weijia did not stay any longer and took the lead to leave the White Crane Meteor Palace. Young Lord, when they saw Jiang Weijia, the golden celestial stage powerhouses of the Nether River tribe immediately surrounded him. Seeing that Jiang Weijia was surrounded by the Nether River tribe's experts, the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others were reluctant. After some hesitation, they did not make a move. There were 4 or 5 golden celestial stage powerhouses from the Nether River tribe, which was not something they could handle. They could not afford to offend the Nether River tribe, not to mention snatching the treasure from Jiang Weijia. Let's go. Jiang Weijia looked around and didn't see Mo Qingyun, so he ordered his subordinates to leave. Hearing Jiang Weijia's order, everyone immediately followed Jiang Weijia and left the White Crane Meteor Palace. Seeing Jiang Weijia and the others leave, the Dragon Emperors of the Four Seas turned their attention back to Crane Meteor Palace. On the way out of Crane Meteor Palace, Young Lord, if you meet Mo Qingyun in the future, you'd better not provoke him. An elder of the Nether River tribe reminded Jiang Weijia with a solemn expression. What do you think? When he heard his subordinate mention Mo Qingyun, Jiang Weijie asked with a puzzled expression. Seeing Jiang Weijia's puzzled expression, the elder of the Nether River tribe said with a grave expression, "Young lord, you don't know that before you left the White Crane Meteor Palace, Missouri Qingyun had already come out." Jiang Weijie nodded. He still looked puzzled and asked, "Mo Qingyun came out in advance. It doesn't seem to be a big deal, does it? It's more or less like this. It started after Mo Qingyun came out." The elder of the Nether River tribe sorted out his thoughts and said slowly with a tense expression, "When Mo Qingyun came out of Crane Meteor Palace, he was chased by a minor gold body expert. What we didn't expect was that Mo Qingyun not only escaped successfully, but also seriously injured that minor gold body expert. This kid's means are too terrifying. What? Even an expert at the minor golden body realm was seriously injured by Mo Qingyun?" When Jiang Weijie heard the elder's words, he immediately felt dizzy and couldn't help but mock himself. With Master's powerful means, we actually wanted to deal with him back then. This is really ridiculous. Not only that, Mo Qingyun also subdued a lightning cloud crane as his mount in Crane Meteor Palace. Another elder added, "What? He subdued a lightning cloud crane?" Jiang Weijie's head buzzed. He felt that his thoughts weren't enough. Mo Qingyun actually had such a treasure. Master hid it too well. Compared to him, we are too inexperienced. After listening to his subordinate's report, Jiang Weijie suddenly felt a blow. He realized the gap between himself and Mo Qingyun. After a while, outside Crane Meteor Palace, not long after Jiang Weijie and the others left, Zhong Yao and the others came out one after another. When Zhong Yao and the others came out, the golden immortal experts of their tribes immediately rushed to protect them. Seeing this scene, the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others were so angry that their teeth itched. They couldn't wait to rush up and be done with it. However, when they thought of the powerful strength of these people, they finally restrained themselves. Although they didn't dare to have thoughts about Zhong Yao and the others, they wouldn't easily let the people of the weaker tribes go. In a short while, a few of the weaker tribesmen were robbed by the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others. Zhong Yao and the others didn't care about such a situation and directly turned a blind eye to it. In their opinion, as long as the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others didn't rob them, it would be enough. "Elders, you have been waiting outside. Did you see Mo Qingyun come out?" Thinking of the loss he had suffered in Crane Meteor Palace, Zhong Yao's face turned cold, and he asked for Mo Qingyun's news. Now that he was outside Crane Meteor Palace, he must teach Mo Qingyun a lesson to repay the humiliation he had suffered in Crane Meteor Palace. "Mo Qingyun? Young lord is looking for Mo Qingyun." When the elders of Heaven-Devouring Wolf tribe heard this, they were stunned and asked in confusion. Then they said, "Young lord, not long before you came out, Mo Qingyun had already left on the lightning cloud crane." "What? He has already left? He even got the lightning cloud crane?" Hearing the report of an elder, Zhong Yao's face turned gloomy, and he was so angry that his body kept trembling. A brat that he had never taken seriously before had not only crushed him in Crane Meteor Palace, he had even gotten the lightning cloud crane. He felt that it was unfair. Chapter 1555. As Zhong Yao's expression darkened, a large group of people quickly rushed over. Seeing this group of people arrive, Zhong Yao and the others were surprised, as if they recognized who they were. "Elder Zhongqing, why are you here?" Zhong Yao walked up to the group of people and asked them with a look of shock and confusion. When that person heard Zhong Yao's question, he nervously scanned his surroundings. He hesitated for a moment before saying, "I followed the orders of the clan leader and chased a kid called Mo Qingyun to this place. I wonder if young Lord Zhong Yao has seen him?" "You're chasing after Mo Qingyun?" Hearing Elder Zhongqing's words, Zhong Yao was slightly surprised, and he asked curiously, "What did Mo Qingyun do? What did he do to make Father so angry that he sent so many people to kill him?" "Young Lord Zhong Yao, the Patriarch suspects that Mo Qingyun might be the one who killed Soin, young lord." Speaking of Soin's death, Elder Zhongqing was furious, and he gritted his teeth as he spoke. Thump, thump, thump. Hearing Elder Zhong Qing's words, Zhong Yao was so scared that his body trembled, and he couldn't help but take a few steps back. Following this, Zhong Yao's face paled, and he felt a strong sense of fear. If Mo Qingyun had really killed Soin, it would have been too dangerous for him to join forces with Feng and the others to deal with Mo Qingyun in the White Crane Meteor Palace. Since Mo Qingyun could kill Soin, if he knew about his relationship with Soin, he would definitely want to kill him. Since Mo Qingyun had already killed Soin, it wouldn't matter if he killed Zhong Yao as well. After calming himself down, Zhong Yao couldn't help but ask again. Second brother is dead? Yeah. Elder Zhong Qing nodded and began to tell Zhong Yao what had happened. He said in a deep voice, "A few days ago, young Lord Soin participated in an auction in the ancestral territory of the Myriad Treasures clan. During that time, he had some conflicts with Mo Qingyun because of Chun Fa and the others' rooms. Next, Elder Zhong Qing recounted the entire incident to Zhong Yao without missing a single detail. These damn slaves actually caused my second brother to be killed. I definitely can't forgive them." After listening to Zhong Qing's explanation, Zhong Yao was shocked and emitted a strong killing intent. From his point of view, if Chun Fa and the others didn't become enemies with Mo Qingyun, Soin wouldn't have become enemies with Mo Qingyun. In this way, Soin and Mo Qingyun had no conflict, so how could he have been killed by Mo Qingyun? Therefore, the culprits that led to such an outcome were Chun Fa and the others. As for the other suspicious person, Chun Hyunmyung, Zhong Yao ignored him. In Zhong Yao's opinion, this guy called Chun Hyunmyung was most likely a helper that Mo Qingyun had invited. In this case, what was the difference between Soin dying at the hands of Chun Hyunmyung and dying at the hands of Mo Qingyun? You're one step too late. Mo Qingyun has already left. Thinking that Mo Qingyun had already left, Zhong Yao revealed a helpless expression and recounted the situation. He's already left? Hearing that Mo Qingyun had left not long ago, Zhong Qing frowned and his face gradually turned cold. He said, "I heard that Mo Qingyun is going to the 9 Immortal Mountain Range to do something at the Nine-Tailed Fox clan. Let's go directly to the Nine-Tailed Fox clan to stop him." Wait a moment, before going to the Nine-Tailed Fox clan, I need to do something first. Zhong Yao sneered when he heard what Zhong Qing and the others were thinking. He looked at the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and said, "Seniors, don't you want to find Mo Qingyun? I'll tell you right now that he's on his way to the Nine-Tailed Fox clan. If you're interested, you can come with us." What? Mo Qingyun is going to the Nine-Tailed Fox clan? Is that true or not? I think it's most likely true. Zhong Yao has no reason to lie to us. Who cares if it's true or not? The Nine-Tailed Fox clan isn't that far away. We'll just go there. I heard that the women of the Nine-Tailed Fox clan are all beautiful and alluring. We can catch a few to play with. Haha, that's a good suggestion. Let's go. Everyone grinned wickedly at Zhong Yao's words. They decided to pay the Nine-Tailed Fox clan a visit. Zhong Yao, young Lord Zhong Yao, is brilliant. With just a few words, he managed to rope in so many helpers. Zhong Qing and the others were impressed by the reactions of the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others. They hurriedly gave Zhong Yao a thumbs up. If they went to the Nine-Tailed Fox clan alone, they wouldn't be able to pose a threat. However, if they all went together, the result would be completely different. Zhong Yao and the others formed a group and headed to the Nine-Tailed Fox clan. Mo Qingyun fled on the lightning cloud crane. He didn't stop at all and quickly headed for the 9 Immortal Mountain Range. Mo Qingyun didn't waste any time on the way there. He entered the Five Directions Tower again to cultivate. According to Wu Yu, refining this immortal crane, returning cliff grass, can improve my understanding of the way of the wind. I hope it won't disappoint me. Mo Qingyun took out a stalk of immortal crane, returning cliff grass. He didn't waste any more time and immediately started refining it. As Mo Qingyun refined the immortal crane returning cliff grass, he felt a mysterious power emanating from the immortal crane returning cliff grass. When this mysterious power appeared, It formed a domain around Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun entered a world of wind. So this is what it feels like to stand in a world of wind. Sensing the power of the way of the wind around him, Mo Qingyun was surprised. He couldn't help but be secretly delighted. If refining the immortal crane returning cliff grass could really help him comprehend the power of the way of the wind, then his understanding of the galloping thunderway would definitely improve significantly. Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more time. He immediately immersed himself in comprehending the power of the way of the wind. After refining the immortal crane returning cliff grass, Mo Qingyun's understanding of the way of the wind was clearly much more efficient than before. This feeling was like having a great teacher guiding you word by word. It allowed you to comprehend the mysteries of the way of the wind naturally. As Mo Qingyun's understanding of the way of the wind increased, he began to verify the galloping thunderway and dispel the doubts he had in the past. Due to the increase in his understanding of the way of the wind, Mo Qingyun's comprehension of the galloping thunderway was clearly much easier than before. Following this, Mo Qingyun improved by leaps and bounds. He continuously comprehended the contents of the galloping thunderway. Time always passed very quickly during cultivation. Master, we've arrived at the nine-tailed fox clan. After an unknown amount of time, Lightning Cloud Crane's voice appeared in his mind. Hearing Lightning Cloud Crane's voice, Mo Qingyun revealed a reluctant expression and left his comprehension. Chapter 1556. Dismounting from the back of the Lightning Cloud Crane, Mo Qingyun moved Xia out of the Five Directions miniature pagoda and prepared to enter the nine-tailed fox clan with her. After moving Xia out of the Five Directions miniature pagoda, Mo Qingyun moved the Lightning Cloud Crane into the Five Directions miniature pagoda. The nine-tailed fox clan's territory is just up ahead. Let's go together, Mo Qingyun said to Xia after taking care of everything. Then he began to walk toward the nine-tailed fox clan's territory. Qingyun, thank you. Xia looked at the nine-tailed fox clan member in front of her with an excited expression. Tears began to well up in her eyes. After leaving the nine-tailed fox clan for so many years, she had finally returned. She knew very well that without Mo Qingyun's help, she wouldn't have been able to return to the nine-tailed fox clan. If everything went as expected, Lang Ping was still using her to recruit soldiers for him on the Tianhan continent. Xia thanked Mo Qingyun and smiled happily as she followed Mo Qingyun into the nine-tailed fox clan's territory. Halt! Outsiders are not allowed to enter the nine-tailed fox clan's territory. A clear, angry shout reached Mo Qingyun's ears when they arrived at the entrance of the nine-tailed fox clan's territory. Two quick-witted young fox girls appeared in front of Mo Qingyun and Bai Yunfei. The moment the two fox girls appeared, they each held a soft sword in their hands. They pointed it at Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun domineeringly. Seeing the two's actions, Mo Qingyun's expression froze slightly. He couldn't help but turn his head to look at Xia. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, it was better for Xia to step in. Don't be rude, the two of you. This is an honored guest to the nine-tailed fox clan. Xia scolded the two girls when she saw their actions. She took out a furry medallion. The medallion was a little strange. At the bottom of the medallion were 7 small fox tails. 7 tails token, Princess Xia. When they saw the command medallion in Xia's hand, as well as the words on it, the two girls immediately saluted in panic. They said, "This servant did not know that Princess had returned. Please forgive this servant's offense. Get up." Seeing the two girls' actions, Xia's expression softened a little. She raised her hand to help them up and said, "I'm bringing this young master to see the Fox King and Fox Queen. The two of you may leave." "Yes." The two nodded and immediately retreated to the side. "Qingyun, let's go." After ordering the two fox girls to leave, Xia nodded to Mo Qingyun and led the way for Mo Qingyun. "Didn't Princess Xia go missing a few years ago? I didn't expect you to come back today. Who would have thought that Princess Xia who went missing a few years ago, would actually return safe and sound. Young Master Xie has returned safe and sound. Could that young master have saved her? I don't think so. That young master is only a minor star realm cultivator. He's about the same level as Princess Xie. Say, do you think he's some kind of spy who took advantage of the situation to gather information from our clan? I don't think so. He came back with Princess Xie. There shouldn't be anything disgusting about him. The two fox guards whispered to each other, discussing Mo Qingyun and Yi Xiuqiong behind them. Although Xie had left the nine-tailed fox clan for several years, she was still very familiar with the terrain. Princess Xie, are you back? The two of them walked through the nine-tailed fox clan's territory for about an hour before someone finally recognized Xie. When she heard this person's voice, Xie visibly trembled. She turned her head excitedly and said, Granny Yi Qiong, it really is you. I'm so happy to see you. Just now, I thought my old eyes were playing tricks on me. I didn't think it really was the princess. Seeing Xie turn and walk towards her, Granny Yi Qiong was very emotional. She grabbed Xie's hands with tears in her eyes and said, If the king and queen know that Princess Xie has returned, they'll definitely be very happy. Father and mother, where are they now? I'll go see them right now. When Granny Yi Qiong mentioned the Fox King and Fox Queen, Xie looked impatient. She couldn't wait to see her parents. When Xie asked about the Fox King and Fox Queen, Granny Yi Qiong hesitated. She looked warily at Mo Qingyun and said, Your Highness, who is this young master? Did he come with you? Granny Yi Qiong, this is Mr. Mo, my savior. He escorted me all the way back. When Granny Yi Qiong asked about Mo Qingyun, Xie was very excited. She immediately introduced Mo Qingyun to her. When Granny Yi Qiong saw Xie's expression, she immediately understood that Xie probably had feelings for Mo Qingyun. Granny Yi Qiong looked at Mo Qingyun with obvious displeasure. Your Highness, the Fox King and Fox Queen are in the Fox Immortal Palace. You should go see them now, Granny Yi Qiong said to Xie. Then she turned to Mo Qingyun and said, As for Mr. Mo, I'll entertain him on your behalf and show him around a nine-tailed fox clan. That's not very good. I still have to take Mr. Mo to see father and mother. When she heard Granny Yi Qiong's words, Xie looked troubled. She wasn't very happy with Granny Yi Qiong's suggestion. In her opinion, Granny Yi Qiong's arrangement was somewhat neglectful of Mo Qingyun. Your Highness, you've reunited with the Fox King and Fox Queen after a long separation. You must have a lot to talk about. If Mr. Mo goes, he'll feel uncomfortable. Seeing Xie's reluctant expression, Granny Yi Qiong immediately smiled faintly and tried to persuade Xie. When she heard Granny Yi Qiong's words, Xie looked hesitant. She couldn't help but turn to look at Mo Qingyun. She'd been with Mo Qingyun for a long time. She'd gradually gotten used to letting Mo Qingyun make all the decisions for her. She believed that Mo Qingyun's suggestion would be the most reasonable. Xie, you go see the Fox King and Fox Queen first. It just so happens that I want to take a look around. When he saw that Xie was asking for his opinion, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and suggested to Xie, All right, then I'll go see father and mother first. I'll come find you later. When she heard Mo Qingyun's suggestion, Xie nodded happily. She said a few words to Mo Qingyun and then hurried to the Fox Immortal Palace. Granny Yi Qiong's expression turned ugly as she watched Xie gradually walk away. She emitted a cold aura as she looked at Mo Qingyun. Brat, don't think that you can have ill intentions towards Her Highness just because you rescued her from the heaven-devouring wolf clan. Rescued Xie from the heaven-devouring wolf clan? When he heard Granny Yi Qiong's words, Mo Qingyun's expression froze. He didn't understand what she meant. He'd met Xie on the Tianhun continent. So that's how it is. After a brief moment of confusion, Mo Qingyun immediately understood. With a look of realization, he thought, So this Granny Yi Qiong mistook me for Lang Ping. No wonder she was so dissatisfied with me. When Mo Qingyun thought about it from another perspective, he could understand Granny Yi Qiong's feelings. If he really was Lang Ping, Why didn't he send Sia back to the nine-tailed fox clan after rescuing Sia for so long? As long as it was a sensible person, they would have unnecessary thoughts and feel that Lang Ping had ulterior motives. P.S. Here comes the 5th update. Good night, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day. Chapter 1557. Senior, I think you've misunderstood. Mo Qingyun naturally had to explain himself now that he understood Yi Qiong's intentions. He couldn't be the scapegoat for Lang Ping. He would only do something like this if he was at a disadvantage. Misunderstood? Yi Qiong sneered and looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain. If that's the case, why don't you tell this old woman how I've misunderstood you? Senior, I think you've got the wrong person. I'm not the Lang Ping who rescued Sia from the sky-devouring wolf clan. Mo Qingyun did not take Granny Yi Qiong's attitude to heart as he explained in an indifferent tone. Thinking about it, when Granny Yi Qiong heard his words, she should know where she was wrong. You're not Lang Ping? Sure enough, Granny Yi Qiong revealed a surprised expression when she heard this. She asked doubtfully, since you're not Lang Ping, who are you, and how did you meet Sia? Mo Qingyun smiled and raised his hand when he saw Yi Qiong's expression. He took a step forward. It's a long story. Why don't we talk as we walk? All right. Granny Yi Qiong nodded and walked forward with Mo Qingyun. She felt a strong sense of curiosity. They'd always thought that after Lang Ping took Sia away, she'd been with Lang Ping. Who would have thought that there was more to this story? The one who had brought Sia here was someone else. It all started a few years ago. In my homeland, the Tianhun continent, I met Sia by coincidence. Afterwards, Mo Qingyun unreservedly recounted the process of him getting to know Sia to Yi Qiong. The more she listened to Mo Qingyun's story, the uglier Yi Qiong's expression became. She began to exude a cold aura. After Lang Ping rescued Sia from the heaven-devouring wolf clan, he actually brought her to a subordinate continent and even allowed her to roam about in brothels. She was the princess of a nine-tailed fox clan, and yet she was flirting with some dandy young masters in a brothel on a subordinate continent. If others found out about this, where would the nine-tailed fox clan's face go? Of course, what shocked Granny Yi Qiong the most was, in just a few short years, Mo Qingyun had raised his cultivation from the ordinary martial Dao realm to the true immortal realm. This cultivation speed was a little too terrifying. No one in the nine-tailed fox clan could match it. Why didn't you kill Lang Ping then? Thinking of Lang Ping's excessive actions, Granny Yi Qiong gnashed her teeth in anger. She was somewhat dissatisfied with Mo Qingyun's decision. In the face of Granny Yi Qiong's reproachful tone, Mo Qingyun's expression remained indifferent. He calmly said, "But no matter what, Lang Ping is Sia's savior. If I kill him because of this, Sia will become an ungrateful person. I don't think that's a good thing to do." That's true. Hearing Mo Qingyun's analysis, Granny Yi Qiong nodded in agreement. She looked at Mo Qingyun with a gentle gaze and said apologetically, "Little friend, I misunderstood you just now. I apologize to you." Senior, don't worry about it. Mo Qingyun shook his head without any emotional fluctuations. Looking at Mo Qingyun's calm appearance, Granny Yi Qiong immediately looked up to Mo Qingyun. She couldn't help but reveal a look of admiration. This little guy is so young, but he actually has a calm state of mind. Coupled with his outstanding cultivation talent, his future achievements are limitless. All right, he came from a subsidiary continent. Could it be that he's from the immortal race? Granny Yi Qiong pondered for a moment. Her expression suddenly shook as she realized a crucial point. Her gaze towards Mo Qingyun changed as she asked, "Little friend, since you're from a subsidiary continent, could it be that you're from the immortal race?" You can say that, but you can also say that you're not. Mo Qingyun did not give a clear answer. He gave an ambiguous answer to Granny Yi Qiong. This was because he himself did not know whether he was from the immortal race or the god race. Little friend, you don't need to think too much. We of the Nine-Tailed Fox clan are not the type to bite the hand that feeds us. Granny Yi Qiong thought that Mo Qingyun had misgivings when she heard Mo Qingyun's answer, so she deliberately gave an ambiguous answer. I'm asking you this because I want to remind you that you're currently in the God Race's sphere of influence. It's best if you don't reveal your identity as an immortal, lest you attract unnecessary trouble. Thank you for the reminder, Senior. You don't need to worry about this. Hearing Yi Qiong's words, Mo Qingyun shook his head with a faint smile. He activated his heavenly soul demon bloodline. Immediately, a terrifying demonic might radiated from Mo Qingyun's body. What powerful bloodline power! Granny Yi Qiong's expression immediately shook when she sensed Mo Qingyun's bloodline power. She felt an enormous pressure. He possesses a powerful bloodline power and is cultivating on a subordinate continent. So this is his identity. Granny Yi Qiong's expression trembled in intense shock. She immediately misunderstood Mo Qingyun's identity and hurriedly said, "So young master is a prodigy of a large clan. This old woman truly has offended you just now." At this moment, Granny Yi Qiong already thought of Mo Qingyun as a prodigy sent to a subordinate continent by a powerful clan to train. Now that she classified Mo Qingyun as part of this group, Granny Yi Qiong's attitude toward Mo Qingyun underwent a massive change. This young master has an extraordinary bearing and astonishing talent. Even in some large clans, he would be considered a dragon among men. The more Granny Yi Qiong looked at Mo Qingyun, the more she felt that he was not simple. While she praised Mo Qingyun in her mind, she also thought, if Her Highness Xia marries him and draws on the power behind him, perhaps our nine-tailed fox clan's crisis can be resolved. When she thought of the nine-tailed fox clan's current crisis, Granny Yi Qiong's expression immediately turned grave. She couldn't help but feel somewhat helpless. If they couldn't find a way to resolve this crisis, their nine-tailed fox clan would be in grave danger. In the future, the nine-tailed fox clan would probably become the playthings of other clans. This was not something she wanted to see. Granny Yi Qiong chatted with Mo Qingyun as they walked. During this time, Granny Yi Qiong beat around the bush and asked if Mo Qingyun had a Dao companion and how he felt about Xia. Mo Qingyun did not hide these words. He simply replied to Yi Qiong's granny. Granny Yi Qiong was naturally very satisfied with Mo Qingyun's answer. Although Mo Qingyun had a few lovers, this was all too common for ancient clans. In some powerful clans, in order to continue their bloodline power, some talented juniors might have hundreds or even thousands of wives and concubines. Mo Qingyun only had a few wives. Compared to those people, this was far too few. If Mo Qingyun knew what Granny Yi Qiong was thinking, he would probably be so scared that he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This old woman's way of thinking was truly unacceptable. Chapter 1558. Mr. Mo, you've been running all the way here. I'm sure you're tired. Why don't you rest in this courtyard? Granny Yi Qiong stood outside the courtyard with a courteous smile and pointed at it as she spoke. Through her conversation with Mo Qingyun, she learned everything she wanted to know. Since that was the case, she didn't need to disturb Mo Qingyun any longer. All right. Mo Qingyun glanced at the small courtyard in front of him and nodded before walking in. Sir, if you have any requests, feel free to tell the servants in the courtyard. Granny Yi Qiong didn't forget to remind Mo Qingyun as he walked into the courtyard, doing her best to satisfy Mo Qingyun. In her opinion, whether or not the nine-tailed fox clan's crisis would depend on Mo Qingyun's strength. If Granny Yi Qiong knew that Mo Qingyun had so many enemies behind him, she probably wouldn't know whether to laugh or cry. All right. Mo Qingyun nodded and walked into a room in the courtyard, preparing to cultivate and raise his cultivation level. Not only did his enemies include a perfected golden immortal like Xian Xiao, but there was also a genius from a large clan like Chun Hyunmyeong. If he didn't raise his strength quickly, he wouldn't be able to protect his family once these people came for revenge. More importantly, Mo Qingyun didn't know Chun Hyunmyeong's exact identity, nor did he know how powerful he was. If Chun Hyunmyeong was an extremely revered member of the 1,000 Illusions, and Mo Qingyun had killed his clone, that would be tantamount to making enemies with the entire 1,000 Illusions. The thought of facing the revenge of the entire 1,000 illusions put immense pressure on Mo Qingyun. He didn't dare relax in the slightest. Back in his room, Mo Qingyun discarded all distracting thoughts and immediately switched identities with Mo Zai. After Mo Qingyun entered the five-directional pagoda, he took out the remaining immortal crane returning cliff grass and prepared to refine it to comprehend the power of the Wind Dao. With his previous experience, Mo Qingyun was able to refine the immortal crane returning cliff grass with ease. A mysterious power of the Wind Dao emanated from the immortal crane returning cliff grass, forming a world of wind around Mo Qingyun. In this world of wind, Mo Qingyun immediately sensed a mysterious power appearing in front of him like a textbook. Among them, there was the gentleness of the wind, the fierceness of the wind, and the variability of the wind. Thanks to Mo Qingyun's continuous comprehension, his understanding of the power of the wind path started to increase. Time passed bit by bit as Mo Qingyun comprehended and cultivated. Perhaps it was because she had so much to say to the Fox King and Fox Empress after a long separation, but Xie didn't come to see Mo Qingyun for many days. Mo Qingyun didn't mind this at all, and he continued to cultivate wholeheartedly. About 7 or 8 days later, in the five-directional pagoda, Mo Qingyun, who had been cultivating all this while, opened his eyes in delight. When Mo Qingyun opened his eyes, a sharp power of the Wind Dao erupted from his body. I have achieved initial success in the Wind Dao. Mo Qingyun opened his eyes and made a rough assessment of his comprehension of the power of the Wind Dao. After understanding his Wind Dao, Mo Qingyun revealed a disappointed expression and couldn't help but sigh. It's a pity that I lack a numinous treasure that can increase my comprehension of the Lightning Dao. Otherwise, if I could increase my comprehension of the Lightning Dao and combine the power of the Wind and Lightning Dao, my comprehension of the Rushing Thunder Path would definitely reach a whole new level. As the level of my comprehension of the Lightning Dao is not enough, my comprehension of the Rushing Thunder Path should be at the initial stage. Mo Qingyun made a simple assessment and had a clear understanding of the progress of his comprehension of the Rushing Thunder Path. He said, "Now my comprehension of the Rushing Thunder Path has increased again. With my current combat strength, I should be able to fight against an ordinary expert of the half-step golden immortal realm. If I were to meet Zhong Yao and the rest now, even if I were to fight them head-on, I shouldn't be at a disadvantage." Thinking about the increase in his strength during this cultivation, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of anticipation. He wanted to fight with Zhong Yao and the rest again. Although my comprehension of the Rushing Thunder Path has increased, my cultivation is still too low. I have to make the best use of my time to increase my cultivation. Thinking about his current cultivation, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but reveal a helpless expression and immediately went back to cultivating. Although his comprehension of the Tao had reached the initial stage, his cultivation was still too weak. He still couldn't unleash the power of the Tao. It couldn't be helped. Cultivation was the foundation of one's strength. If one's cultivation wasn't strong enough, everything else was just empty talk. For example, if one's fist could produce a force of 100 pounds, even if one was given a knife to slash someone, the damage would be limited. If one's fist could produce a force of 500 pounds, even if one was holding a big wooden stick, one hit from a stick would be too much for others to handle. Devouring Gate. Mo Qingyun took out a large number of immortal stones and placed them around his body. They were then absorbed by the Devouring Gate. Soon, the converted immortal spiritual stones were channeled into Mo Qingyun's body through the Devouring Gate. Sensing the immortal spiritual energy that was channeled into his body, Mo Qingyun immediately refined and absorbed them, turning them into his own strength. As Mo Qingyun refined and absorbed the immortal spiritual energy, his aura started to grow stronger and his cultivation started to increase steadily. Deity, Miss Xie is here to look for you. After an unknown period of time, Mo Zai's soul voice transmission appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind. The pinnacle of the lesser star realm. Upon hearing Mo Zai's soul voice transmission, Mo Qingyun exited his cultivation with a satisfied smile on his face. Although he hadn't been able to break through to the major star realm during this cultivation, his cultivation had been rather fruitful. Furthermore, breaking through from the lesser star realm to the major star realm required condensing a star realm. This wasn't something that could be done in a short period of time. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself with a faint smile. Then, he switched identities with Mo Zai and appeared in the room. Creak. Mo Qingyun opened the door and saw Xie outside. He greeted Xie. Xie immediately smiled sweetly when she saw Mo Qingyun walk out of the room. She grabbed Mo Qingyun's arm and said, "Qingyun, my parents want to see you. Come with me quickly." "All right." Mo Qingyun nodded when he saw Xie's actions and followed her to see the Fox King and Fox Empress. The Fox Immortal Hall wasn't far from Mo Qingyun's small courtyard. Xie led the way, and it didn't take long for them to arrive at the hall. When Mo Qingyun entered the hall, he saw Granny Yiqiong sitting in a relatively high position. It was obvious that her status in the nine-tailed fox clan wasn't simple at all. A beautiful middle-aged woman sat at the very top of the hall. She must be the Fox Empress of the nine-tailed fox clan. Beside her sat a pale-faced, middle-aged man. It didn't take a guess to know that he was the Fox King. The Fox King seems to be injured. Mo Qingyun frowned slightly when he saw the Fox King's pale face. He was immediately surprised. Chapter 1559. Junior Mo Qingyun pays his respects to the seniors of the Fox clan. Looking around at the people in the hall, Mo Qingyun clasped his hands and bowed respectfully. Seeing Mo Qingyun standing in the center of the hall, the Fox King and Fox Empress smiled and nodded, exchanging glances with the people around them. Seeing the Fox King and Fox Empress glances, the people around them all nodded as if acknowledging Mo Qingyun. There's no need to be so courteous. Come over here and sit down. After exchanging glances, the Fox King warmly smiled and waved at Mo Qingyun, pointing to a seat next to him. "Many thanks, Senior Fox King." Mo Qingyun hurriedly clasped his hands in thanks and sat down next to the Fox King. "Qingyun, if you don't mind, you can call me Uncle Yi." Looking at Mo Qingyun next to him, the Fox King smiled in praise and began to curry favor with Mo Qingyun. Okay. Mo Qingyun did not object to the Fox King's suggestion. He indifferently nodded. "I've already heard about you and Xie from Xie. Thank you for taking care of her all this time." After thanking Mo Qingyun, the Fox King's expression grew grave. He put on a pleading expression and said, "Qingyun, I heard from Granny Yiqiong that you're a genius junior from a large clan. Our nine-tailed fox clan is in great trouble right now. Can you ask the seniors of the clan to help us out this once for Xie's sake?" Ask the seniors of the clan to help the nine-tailed fox clan? Mo Qingyun bitterly smiled at the Fox King's words. He was extremely distressed. It wasn't that he didn't want to help, but he had no other choice. He didn't even know where the Heavenly Soul Demons were. How could he invite the Heavenly Soul Demons over? Although he was unable to invite a Heavenly Soul Demon expert, Mo Qingyun still wanted to do his part out of consideration for Xie. He asked, "Uncle Yi, what sort of trouble has the nine-tailed fox clan encountered? If it's within my power, I definitely won't just stand by and watch." Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone in the hall was overjoyed. They felt that the nine-tailed fox clan could be saved. As long as Mo Qingyun asked the clan's elders for help, the nine-tailed fox clan's crisis wouldn't be a problem at all. Speaking of this matter, we have to start from when Xie was taken away. The Fox King had a melancholic expression on his face as he recalled the past. His eyes were filled with helplessness and sadness. Back then, when I found out that Xie had been captured by the Heaven-Devouring Wolf clan, I immediately gathered a large group of Fox clan experts and went to the Heaven-Devouring Wolf clan's camp to take her back. We then started a huge battle with the Heaven-Devouring Wolf clan. Next, the Fox King recounted the details of the battle to Mo Qingyun. The situation was roughly like this. In that battle, the Wolf Clan of the Heaven-Devouring Wolf Clan suffered heavy casualties and lost the position of emperor. Then, the leader of the Heaven-Devouring Wolf Clan told the Fox King the details, saying that Xia had been taken away by Lang Ping. Knowing that Xia had been taken away by Lang Ping, the Fox King and the others were disappointed and stopped fighting the Heaven-Devouring Wolf Clan. If that was the case, it wouldn't be a big deal. What the Fox King and the others didn't expect was that not long after the nine-tailed Fox Clan's ancestors returned, they were invaded by inner demons and fell into a half-mad, half-demonic state. When this news leaked out, the Heaven-Devouring Wolf Clan, who'd suffered defeat in a previous battle, wanted revenge. Following that, the Heaven-Devouring Wolf Clan roped in many other powerful clans and joined forces to invade the Nine-Tailed Fox Clan. No matter how powerful the Nine-Tailed Fox Clan was, they were clearly powerless against the combined assault of multiple clans. As the saying went, 2 fists were no match for 4 hands. That was the logic behind it. After several years of battle, the Nine-Tailed Fox Clan's experts had all died. Only a few old and weak soldiers were left. If they couldn't find help, the Nine-Tailed Fox Clan's current battle strength would only be able to withstand 3 attacks from the Heaven-Devouring Wolf Clan. When that time came, the Nine-Tailed Fox Clan could only wait to be captured and be exterminated or enslaved. As for the Fox King's injuries, he'd sustained them in the previous battle and still hadn't had time to recover. Now that he understood the Nine-Tailed Fox Clan's predicament, Mo Qingyun couldn't bear to lie to them. With a solemn expression, he said in a low voice, "Senior, I won't lie to you. Although I'm a member of the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan, I've never been to the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. As for asking the clan's experts for help, I'm truly powerless. The Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. He's actually a genius of the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan." After learning of Mo Qingyun's true origins, the Fox King and the others were stunned, their eyes wide open. They'd guessed that Mo Qingyun's origins weren't simple, but when they heard Mo Qingyun say that he was from the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan, they were still stunned. What a pity. It would be best if he could return to the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. After a brief moment of shock, the Fox King revealed a look of regret. He didn't doubt Mo Qingyun's words. Given his status and experience, he naturally understood the reason. "Senior, other than asking the experts for help, what else can I do for you?" After explaining the situation to the Fox King, Mo Qingyun asked the Fox King if there was anything he could do to help. There are only 2 ways to resolve the current crisis. One is to ask the experts for help, and the other is to resolve the Patriarch's inner demons. The Fox King didn't hide anything from Mo Qingyun's inquiry. He told Mo Qingyun the truth and said, "Originally, we wanted you to ask the clan's experts for help, but now it seems that it won't work. The only thing I can do now is to think of a way to resolve the Patriarch's inner demons." At this moment, while the Fox King and the others were talking, a guard hurriedly ran into the main hall. "Fox King, something bad has happened. There are many golden immortal experts outside the clan." The guard walked into the main hall and reported the situation to the Fox King in a flustered tone. "What? They're here again?" The Fox King and the others were shocked when they heard the guard's report. Their faces turned pale. They hadn't recovered from the shock yet. How could they accept another battle? How could this be? It's only been 5 days since the last battle. Why are they attacking again? The Fox King and the others fell into despair when they thought of the battles that used to be fought once a month had now become one every 5 days. The Nine-Tailed Fox Clan couldn't afford such a high-intensity battle. "I heard those people say that they seem to be ordering us to hand over a person called Mo Qingyun." While the Fox King was confused and panicked, the guard looked puzzled and reported the situation to the Fox King. "Hand over Mo Qingyun?" The Fox King and the others were shocked when they heard the guard's words. They subconsciously turned to look at Mo Qingyun. "They're quite fast." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly when he saw everyone looking at him. He stood up and said, "Since this matter started because of me, then let me solve it." Chapter 1560. I'll have to trouble you to lead the way. I'll go meet those people. Mo Qingyun arrived at the guard's side and instructed him, then continued on his way out of the hall. After hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, the guard hesitated for a moment, but still rose to lead Mo Qingyun forward. When they saw Mo Qingyun's actions, the Fox King and the others looked at each other in dismay, momentarily at a loss for what to do. If they just stood by and watched, Mo Qingyun might be killed by those people. They'd lose the only chance they had to strengthen the nine-tailed fox clan. Although Mo Qingyun was weak and alone, if he returned to the heavenly soul demons, he was certain to receive a great deal of cultivation. When the time came, Mo Qingyun would only need to give a nine-tailed fox clan some pointers, and their strength would soar. But if they went to help Mo Qingyun, they'd undoubtedly bring even more trouble to the nine-tailed fox clan and worsen their situation. Given the nine-tailed fox clan's current situation, they probably wouldn't be able to wait until the day Mo Qingyun returned to the clan. Let's go take a look. After a brief moment of hesitation, the Fox King stood up with a solemn expression. He decided to protect Mo Qingyun. He felt that, regardless of whether or not Mo Qingyun could help the nine-tailed fox clan, Mo Qingyun's relationship with CM meant that he absolutely couldn't stand by and do nothing. Qingyun is our clan's honored guest. No matter what, we can't let him come to harm. That's right. We've already offended those guys, so it doesn't matter if we offend them again. If we send Mr. Mo away, he'll definitely avenge us when he goes to the heavenly soul demons to ask for help. When the time comes, if he remembers our old friendship and helps the nine-tailed fox clan, we'll also be able to strengthen our clan. That's right. Using our old lives in exchange for a new lease on life for the nine-tailed fox clan is a worthwhile trade. Seeing the Fox King's decision, the others all agreed and voiced their thoughts. The Fox King and the others immediately chased after Mo Qingyun without hesitation. After a while, the Fox King and the others caught up with Mo Qingyun and came to Mo Qingyun's side. Nephew Mo, you are an honored guest of our nine-tailed fox clan. How can we let you fight alone? The Fox King walked side by side with Mo Qingyun. He raised his hand and patted Mo Qingyun on the shoulder, giving Mo Qingyun a reassuring smile. Seeing the Fox King and the others' performance, Mo Qingyun was touched. He smiled at the Fox King and the others and said, "Thank you, Uncle Yi and seniors. You don't have to worry. Those people are just clowns. They can't pose any threat to me." Mo Qingyun had already made up his mind. If those fellows failed to appreciate his kindness, he would let the 6 golden immortal ghosts self-destruct. As time passed, the strength of these 6 golden immortal ghosts was about to drop to the level of a true immortal. Rather than letting their cultivation slip and become worthless, it would be better to go all out and do something ruthless. The scene of 6 golden immortal ghosts self-destructing at the same time would be very spectacular. Just imagining it made Mo Qingyun's blood boil. He was looking forward to that scene. Looking at Mo Qingyun's indifferent attitude, the Fox King and the others were shocked, and a strong sense of confusion arose in their hearts. With Mo Qingyun's lesser star realm, he should be terrified when being chased by so many golden immortal powerhouses. On the other hand, Mo Qingyun didn't run away in a panic. Instead, he took the initiative to go and meet them. This was too abnormal. Of course, while the Fox King and the others were puzzled, they were also very curious. They wanted to see what kind of trump card Mo Qingyun had. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Zhong Yao and the others under the guidance of the guard. When Zhong Yao and the others saw Mo Qingyun, they all smiled and looked at him mockingly. "Mo Qingyun, you're really here. Let's see where you run to this time. Kid, hand over the lightning cloud crane, and we'll give you a quick death. Everyone, I just want to capture this kid. I don't want anything else. Mo Qingyun, you kill my second brother. Hurry up and hand over your life." Looking at Mo Qingyun in front of them, everyone shouted at Mo Qingyun fiercely. Looking at these people in front of him, Mo Qingyun replied with a calm expression, "All of you want my life and my treasures. Who should I give them to?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Dragon Emperor of the 4 Seas and the others' expressions changed. They were a little wary of the people around them. From the looks of it, Mo Qingyun's words of alienation had already had some effect. This kid is trying to drive a wedge between us. Don't listen to his nonsense. Seeing everyone's reaction, Teng Yao knew that they had been affected by Mo Qingyun's words, so he immediately tried to persuade them. Hearing Teng Yao's words, everyone's expression immediately sank. They had also seen through Mo Qingyun's tricks. Mo Qingyun did not mind seeing everyone's expressions change. He smiled faintly at Teng Yao and said, "Teng Yao, you're probably trying to get everyone to deal with me because you want everyone to take the blow for you and bear what you went through a few days ago. Why, don't talk nonsense." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Teng Yao immediately became rather guilty and refuted in a flustered tone. What Mo Qingyun said was true. He did have such thoughts in his mind earlier. He wanted everyone to fight Mo Qingyun to the death. When the time came, he just needed to capture Mo Qingyun alive and leave. Thinking about it, if he did not compete with everyone for the treasure, they would not object to his request and agree to let him capture Mo Qingyun and leave. As long as he took Mo Qingyun away, he would have completed Xian Zhao's mission. When the time came, there would be nothing left. That kid Mo Qingyun has some means to seriously injure a minor golden body expert. We have to be on guard. Which one of these fellows isn't ruthless? Once we're seriously injured, they might even hit us when we're down. Let's observe the situation first. Don't choose to rush into action, lest we become everyone's cannon fodder. Thinking of Teng Yao's experience a few days ago, the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others all had their own ulterior motives. No one was willing to take the lead. Seeing this scene, the Fox Kings beside Mo Qingyun were all dumbfounded. This kind of situation was too out of their expectations. A group of powerhouses at the Golden Celestial stage were shocked by a person at a small star position. Could it be that these people were really a bunch of good-for-nothings, like Mo Qingyun said? Seeing that no one was willing to make the first move, Zhong Yao's expression darkened. He looked at the Fox Kings with a sinister gaze and said, "Yi Mingheng, if you capture Mo Qingyun for us now, the enmity between my sky-devouring wolf clan and your nine-tailed fox clan will be written off. How about that? Kid from a sky-devouring wolf clan, your empty promise might be able to fool some idiots, but it won't work on us." With the intelligence of the Fox Kings and the others, they could naturally tell that Zhong Yao was trying to sow discord and get someone else to do the dirty work. Chapter 1561. The Fox King and the others didn't believe Zhong Yao, not only because of Xie, but also because of another reason. They could tell that the Golden Immortal stage powerhouses didn't dare to touch Mo Qingyun because they were wary of Mo Qingyun's methods. Mo Qingyun's methods must be extremely terrifying and could seriously injure or even kill Golden Immortal stage powerhouses. If he dared to touch Mo Qingyun, he would undoubtedly become everyone's cannon fodder. They wouldn't do such a stupid thing. "Uncle Yi, please step back for now. Let me handle this alone." Seeing Zhong Yao's provocation, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and secretly transmitted his voice to the Fox King and the others. Since Zhong Yao wanted to play tricks, there was no need for him to be polite. After receiving Mo Qingyun's transmission, the Fox King and the others' expressions changed. After a slight hesitation, they all stepped back. In their opinion, Mo Qingyun must have his own plans for giving them such instructions. Seeing the Fox King and the others step back, Mo Qingyun's lips curled slightly. He turned to Zhong Yao and sneered, "Zhong Yao, don't say I didn't give you a chance. I'll count to 3. If you don't make a move, I'll leave. 3, 2, 1. 3 breaths passed in the blink of an eye. In the end, no one dared to make a move. They all looked at each other and waited for someone to take the lead. Since none of you are going to make a move, I won't keep you company. Seeing that Zhong Yao and the others still didn't make a move, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and flew away from the nine-tailed fox clan. What is Qingyun doing? Does he really want to fight against so many powerhouses with his own strength? The Fox King and the others were shocked to see Mo Qingyun's actions. They didn't know what Mo Qingyun was really thinking. In their opinion, if Mo Qingyun was too far away from them, they couldn't help Mo Qingyun even if they wanted to. Everyone, hurry up and chase him. Don't let Mo Qingyun escape. Hurry up and chase him. That kid was just bluffing to intimidate us. What a cunning kid. We were almost fooled by him. He's trying to escape. Mo Qingyun, if you dare to continue running, we'll attack the nine-tailed fox clan. Seeing Mo Qingyun escape, the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others quickly chased after Mo Qingyun. Not long after, the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others turned into afterimages as they rapidly closed the distance between them and Mo Qingyun. They've taken the bait. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly when he saw the reaction of the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others. Mockery appeared in his eyes. Without any hesitation, Mo Qingyun summoned the 6 ghosts at the Golden Celestial stage. They have the 4 of the Four Seas. Of the Golden S, they have this 4 T of this. 6 aurid body, sculpting ghosts won't be able to stop us. Kid, we're all golden immortals, but the difference in strength is huge. A mere golden body formation realm ghost. Even if this old man allows them to attack, they won't be harmed at all. Seeing the ghosts attacking them, the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others were arrogant. They didn't care about the ghosts at all. Hurry up, retreat, or it'll be too late. Tung Yao's current mood was the complete opposite of the Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas. Seeing the scene before him, he was terrified. The scene before him was so similar to what had happened a few days ago. However, there was only one Golden Immortal Stage ghost a few days ago. Today, there were 6 Golden Immortal Stage ghosts. When Tung Yao reminded everyone, he didn't dare to hesitate and immediately retreated. However, Tung Yao was still one step too late. Before Tung Yao could turn around and escape, the 6 ghosts began to self-destruct. Bang, bang, bang. A series of loud noises reverberated in the air and spread to the nearby mountains. As these sounds spread out, the ground also began to shake violently due to the vibrations. The 6 Golden Immortal Stage ghosts self-destructed, creating a terrifying spiritual energy storm that engulfed Tung Yao and the others. No, my leg is gone. Save me. I don't want to die. The Dragon Emperor of the Four Seas and the others were swallowed by the spiritual energy storm. They immediately let out miserable cries, which made one feel sorry for them. However, no one dared to save them in the face of such a terrifying storm, unless they were tired of living. The 6 Golden Immortal Stage ghosts caused too much of a commotion and immediately attracted the attention of the Fox King and the others. They all rushed towards Mo Qingyun. Of course, when they saw the scene before them, they were all stunned. They couldn't believe their eyes. At this moment, they finally understood why Zhong Yao and the others were so afraid of Mo Qingyun. Such a terrifying spiritual energy storm could only be withstood by a golden immortal. Even an indestructible golden body expert could not withstand it. It's too terrifying. The Fox King's face twitched. He was so scared that cold sweat broke out on his forehead. His face turned even paler. Can a person in the Lesser Star realm really cause such a terrifying spiritual energy storm? Grandmother Yi Qiong shook her head. She could not accept this scene for a long time. She felt that it was too unbelievable. Hearing Grandmother Yi Qiong's words, the nine-tailed fox clan experts all opened their mouths wide. Their hearts were in turmoil. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Because Zhong Yao and the others' cultivation was lower, they came a little slower and were lucky enough to escape this calamity. Although Zhong Yao and the others had escaped the calamity, they were all trembling in fear when they saw the scene before them. It was too terrifying. The power of this spiritual energy storm was comparable to the full blow of a golden immortal expert. Swoosh! While Zhong Yao and the others were still in shock, a white figure charged at them with extreme speed and threw a punch at them. A terrifying surge of black, immortal spiritual energy rapidly gathered above Zhong Yao and the others, forming an enormous black fist. Boom! As soon as the black fist formed, it smashed down on Zhong Yao and the others in a domineering manner, instantly hitting them. Immediately afterward, Zhong Yao and the others were enveloped by a wave of light and lost the ability to move. Mo Qingyun is back. Oh no, we've been hit by Mo Qingyun's combat art. We can't move. Mo Qingyun, if you dare touch me, my elders won't let you off. Mo Qingyun, I beg you, don't kill me. I don't want to die yet. Seeing their situation, Zhong Yao and the others had different reactions. Some were panicked, some were unyielding. Mo Qingyun chose to ignore Zhong Yao and the others' attitude. He shouted to the Fox King and the others, "Uncle Yi, why don't you hurry up and capture these people? With them as hostages, the other clans will be much more cautious." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Fox King and the others' eyes immediately lit up. They understood what Mo Qingyun meant. Immediately, the Fox King and the others no longer hesitated and immediately captured Zhong Yao and the others. Chapter 1562. With their cultivation, Zhong Yao and the others were naturally no match for the Fox King and the others. They were quickly captured. Seeing himself captured, Zhong Yao's face contorted with malevolence. "Yi Mingheng, let me go at once if you know what's good for you. Otherwise, my father will gather all the other clans and invade your nine-tailed fox clan en masse. We'll wipe you out in an instant." Slap. While Zhong Yao was yelling, a crisp slap could be heard from the left side of his face. Everyone saw that the left side of Zhong Yao's face had swollen to the size of a pig's head. "Brat, how dare you hit me?" Zhong Yao's face twitched in anger after being slapped by Mo Qingyun. He glared at Mo Qingyun with wide eyes. As the saying went, hit someone but not the face. Mo Qingyun had gone too far. "How dare you be so arrogant now that you're my captive? Who else should I hit if not you?" Mo Qingyun curled his lip in disdain at Zhong Yao's anger and slapped him again. Slap! With another crisp slap, the remaining right side of Zhong Yao's face swelled up. After being slapped again by Mo Qingyun, Zhong Yao was much more docile and didn't dare talk back to Mo Qingyun. Of course, with his face swollen like a pig's head, it was difficult for him to speak even if he wanted to. Seeing that Zhong Yao had calmed down, the others looked on in awe and didn't dare speak loudly. They knew very well that if they continued to be arrogant, they'd end up like Zhong Yao. Seeing the change in attitude of Zhong Yao and the others, Fox King and the others nodded and exchanged glances with each other. Qingyun sure has his ways. Just sending out a few subordinates is enough to make Zhong Yao and the others behave themselves. More importantly, now that we've captured Zhong Yao and the other clans will be a little more cautious. This way, we'll have time to catch our breath and recuperate. As the Fox King and the others conversed, they admired Mo Qingyun even more. "Uncle Yi, send a few people to watch over Zhong Yao and the others. The rest of you, prepare for battle with me." Seeing that the spiritual energy storm was getting weaker and weaker, Mo Qingyun had a solemn expression on his face as he instructed the Fox King and the others beside him. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Fox King and the others were stunned. They didn't understand what he meant and asked, "Qingyun, since we have captured Zhong Yao and the others, would they still dare to fight us after they escaped from the spiritual energy storm?" "That's right. Unless they don't care about Zhong Yao and the others' lives, we'll definitely hold back." Granny Yiqiong also looked confused, feeling that Mo Qingyun was being too careful. There was no need for him to fear the dragon monarchs of the four seas and the others. The corners of Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a sinister smile when he saw the reactions of the Fox King and the others. He said, "We're not guarding against their attacks. We're going to wipe them out. Now that they're all heavily injured, this is the perfect opportunity to beat them up. How can we let this opportunity slip by so easily? Beat them up when they're down?" The Fox King and the others were stunned at first. Then they immediately began to tremble. They knew what Mo Qingyun wanted to do. Understanding Mo Qingyun's intentions, the Fox King and the others immediately looked at Mo Qingyun with reverence and admiration. Although Mo Qingyun's cultivation was only at the lesser star realm, his foresight and scheming were truly frightening. In just a short moment of fighting, a group of golden immortal realm super experts had all been toyed with in the palm of his hand. If the dragon monarchs of the four seas and the others were all killed, the overall strength of the various clans against the nine-tailed fox clan would be weakened by around 20%. The overall strength of the various clans would be weakened by 20%. Coupled with the fact that Zhong Yao and the others have been captured, they would definitely have strong concerns. At that time, the nine-tailed fox clan, which had been in imminent danger, would be in a much better situation. Thinking of this, the Fox King and the others once again looked at Mo Qingyun in a new light. They admired Mo Qingyun to the extreme. Everyone, pay attention. They're about to come out. Mo Qingyun reminded the Fox King and the others as he watched the spiritual energy storm grow fainter and fainter. In a moment, I'll use a divine ability to create a domain that suppresses strength. In this domain, their strength will be suppressed. Try to kill them in one blow. Okay. Although the Fox King and the others were shocked by Mo Qingyun's instructions, they couldn't help but nod in agreement. Before long, the spiritual energy storm completely dissipated, revealing the dragon monarchs of the four seas and the others. The dragon monarchs of the four seas and the others were in an extremely wretched state, their bodies covered in hideous wounds. A few of them had only their heads left from the impact of the spiritual energy storm. The rest of their bodies were gone. Mo Qingyun, you damned brat, this old man will cut you into pieces. Brat, I'll drink your blood and eat your flesh to vent the hatred in my heart. Everyone, let's attack together. I refuse to believe that he still has golden, immortal ghosts to self-destruct. When the dragon monarchs of the four seas and the others saw Mo Qingyun, they revealed a ferocious expression and quickly charged towards Mo Qingyun. Seeing the dragon monarchs of the four seas and the others charging towards him, Mo Qingyun didn't feel any fear. Instead, he sneered, "You want to cut me into pieces, eat my flesh, and drink my blood? I'm afraid you don't have the ability to do so. Kill." After a short while, the dragon emperors of the four seas and the others were subdued and stood respectfully behind Mo Qingyun. Qingyun, are we returning to the nine-tailed fox clan now? Seeing that the dragon emperors of the four seas and the others had been subdued, the Fox King asked Mo Qingyun about his plans. Hearing the Fox King's question, Mo Qingyun calmly shook his head and said, "There's no hurry. Let me take care of one more matter first. Then we'll return to the nine-tailed fox clan." Spirit Summoning Gate. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he used the Spirit Summoning Gate to summon the soul fragments around him. Soon, the auras of golden immortals emanated from the Spirit Summoning Gate. Sensing the terrifying aura, the Fox King and the others were shocked. They all had looks of disbelief on their faces. Then, one golden immortal ghost after another emerged from the Spirit Summoning Gate and appeared in front of them. Golden immortal ghosts. This ability can actually summon golden immortal ghosts. What a powerful ability. With this ability, wouldn't he be able to dominate the entire battle? So this is how he gets his golden immortal ghosts. No wonder he's so generous with them. No wonder Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate to kill us. Even if he kills us, he can still recruit golden immortal subordinates. The dragon emperors of the four seas and the others were shocked and couldn't help but feel a lingering fear. as long as we can find gold song shengji, origin swallow mushroom bamboo, heavenly fiend whale blood, and refine them into primordial unity, chaotic heaven immortal dew. Gold song shengji, origin swallow mushroom bamboo, heavenly fiend whale blood. Hearing Wu Yu's words, the Fox King revealed a thoughtful expression, wondering if the nine-tailed fox clan had these things. Seeing the Fox King's thoughtful expression, Wu Yu didn't disturb him and silently stood behind him, Qingyun. Not long after, a brilliant smile appeared on the Fox Monarch's face. Our nine-tailed Fox Clan's treasury should have some stock of all of the things you want. These refining materials won't be a problem. That's good. Wu Yu nodded and didn't intend to waste any more time. He directly said, since we have all the ingredients, let's start refining the immortal medicine. There's no rush. Seeing Wu Yu's plan, Qingyun waved his hand and said, Uncle Yi, since Wu Yu wants to help you refine medicine, call the other injured members of the nine-tailed fox clan over and let Wu Yu take a look at them. Okay, I'll call them over now. Hearing Qingyun's suggestion, the Fox King was overjoyed and hurriedly called for those people to come over. Not long after, under the Fox King's summons, dozens of injured people came into the hall. Presumably, the Fox King didn't want to trouble Wu Yu too much. The people he called over were all at the Great Golden Body Realm and above. Among these people, except for Elder Yi Mao, the others weren't too seriously injured. That's right. Wu Yu, wait a moment. Can you treat inner demons? Seeing that Wu Yu had a way to treat the injuries of Yi Mao and the others, Qingyun suddenly had a flash of inspiration. Since Wu Yu's medical skills were so outstanding, why not let him try to resolve the inner demons of a nine-tailed Fox clan's ancestors? Hearing Qingyun's words, the Fox King and the others were shocked, and their expressions became nervous. If Wu Yu could resolve the inner demons of the ancestors, the nine-tailed Fox clan's current crisis would no longer be a problem. It depends on the extent. If it hasn't completely eroded the mind, I might have a way to resolve it. Under the nervous gazes of the Fox King and the others, Wu Yu faintly replied without giving a clear answer. As long as there's hope. As long as there's hope. Although Wu Yu didn't give a clear answer, the Fox King was very satisfied with his current answer. In the Fox King's opinion, as long as there was a glimmer of hope, it was enough. Since that's the case, Qingyun and Wu Yu, follow me immediately. Thinking that Wu Yu was going to treat the ancestors of the clan, the Fox King couldn't wait to bring Qingyun and Wu Yu to see the ancestors of the clan. Seeing the Fox King's anxious appearance, Qingyun gestured to Wu Yu and followed the Fox King out of the Fox Immortal Hall.